This is Retro Sports Radio. Visit RetroSeasons.com for more sports history.
On Friday, October 4th, 1935, the Detroit Tigers faced the Chicago Cubs at Wrigley Field for Game 3 of the 1935 World Series. The series was tied at 1 game apiece after the Cubs stole Game 1 at eleventh Field, when Lon Warnke outdueled Schoolboy Rowe for a 3-0 shutout. The next day, the Tigers evened the series at 1 game apiece when they erupted for 4 runs in the first inning of Game 2 on their way to an 8-3 win. For Game 3, Tigers manager Mickey Cochran would send 24-year-old Elden Auker to the mound. Cubs manager Charlie Grimm would send 20-game winner Bill Lee to the mound. This audio recording is from the Mutual Radio broadcast featuring announcers Bob Elson, Red Barber, and Quinn Ryan.
The first man to bat for the Tigers is JoJo White, the center fielder. Left-handed batter. White so far has 2 hits in the series. He's a tremendous fielder, this fellow. One of the best center fielders in baseball today. He can go and travel out there in the outfield. He has a good, sure, steady arm. But his hitting this year has not been so strong. And consequently, manager Mickey Cochran has had to do quite a bit of shifting around with his outfield. But here's White. He's done very well so far in the series. And he's leading off now in the 3rd game, which is about to get underway. He's getting a sign now from Hartnett. Here's the windup. The game is on. It's right over the heart of the plate. A beauty right in there. Hack at third, Jurgis at short, Billy Herman at second, Cabaret at first, Demaree in right field, Lindstrom in center field, and Delan in left. A slow ball right over the plate. Strike 2. That was right in there. Tiny Schubel is coaching at third for Detroit. Here comes the next pitch. It broke a little bit low that time. There was a quick curve that just broke a little bit low, and the count is ball 1 and strike 2. Our position here is just a little bit off to the left of the plate, looking right down the first base line. Next pitch just missed the corner. A slow curve ball, and the count is ball 2 and strike 2 on White. Nobody on the bases. The ball game has just started. The first man up in the 3rd game of the World Series. Cubs won the first game 3-0. Tigers won the second game 8-3. Next pitch, he drives foul, a liner into the boxes down the right field line. There's the usual scamper for the ball down there. You know, a baseball during a regular game of the season is a swell souvenir, but a World Series baseball, that's something else again. That's a real souvenir. Nobody on the bases, and the count is 2-2 on White. He throws the rubber out there. He's all set now. Here comes the pitch. It's a slow ball, and he's swung. The catcher dropped the ball, and he's throwing it to first base, and he's out. Hartnett to Cabaretta. Hartnett dropped the 3rd strike. Dropped it just with his feet, however, and had an easy time picking the ball up and throwing White out at first base. Hartnett to Cabaretta. 1 gone. Here's Mickey Cochran up at the plate. Getting a nice hand from the crowd as he steps up in there. Cochran has 1 hit so far in the series. First pitch is right over the plate. Strike 1 is called. Just a slight wind coming out of the east today and blowing toward right field. Next pitch is a fastball in close to Mickey, and he steps out of the way to keep from being hit with it. Count is ball 1, strike 1. 321 feet to the right field stands right there at the flagpole. 440 to deep center field, and 364 to left. He led the ground ball, bounced over the pitcher's head. Billy Herman comes in fast, can't get it. The ball goes right past him into center field, and Cochran is safe at first. It went right through Billy Herman, on out into center field, and put Cochran on first base. It's an error for Billy Herman. An error for Billy Herman, puts a man on first base and brings up Charlie Gehringer, the great second baseman of the Tigers, who so far has made 2 hits in the series. He hits a slow ball foul on the ground over near the Detroit dugout. 1 strike. That was a ground ball hit by Cochran, which bounced in front of Lee, right over his head, out towards second base. Billy Herman cut in fast, tried to pick the ball up in a fast play, but the ball got to him and went on into center field, and Hickey is safe on first. So there's a man on with 1 out here in the first half of the first inning. Lee is getting a sign again. Next pitch is in high and in close, the ball. Makes the ball 1 and strike 1 now for Charlie. Stanley Hack at third base is playing in a little bit close. The outfield is playing in regular positions. Delan, Lindstrom, Demaree. They don't shift at all for Gehringer, left-handed hitter. He turns and throws the ball over to first base, trying to pick the runner off, but he's back in the bag safely. 3rd game of the World Series. Tigers batting in the first half of the first inning. Lee against Auker. Here's the pitch. Slow ball, and he drives a long foul down the right field line. It's another strike for Gehringer, and the count is ball 1 and strike 2. Another new ball is tossed into the game. Remember, the American League umpire, McGowan, is back at the plate. He's the umpire-in-chief. Dolly Stark, National League at first. Moriarty, American League at second. And Quigley, National League at third. Now he's getting a sign again. Here's the next pitch. Comes in high again at the ball, and the count is 2-2 for Gehringer. A little bit cool in Chicago today, but much more comfortable than it was in Detroit yesterday, but it was real cold and windy. Gehringer takes one low and outside for a ball, and the count is 3-2. That was a fastball that broke outside. Ball 3 and strike 2. Gehringer stands well back in the batter's box, swings the bat around slowly in front of him, not very often, just every once in a while he brings it around. He's keeping a watchful eye on that pitcher. There goes the runner down. He hits the ground ball past the pitcher. Hack comes up with the ball fast, gets it over to first base, and he's out on a close play. Back to Cabaretta. It was a ground ball to the third base side of the pitcher. Hack cut over fast on the grass, up to the ball, and almost with the same motion, threw it over to first base, and he's out on a close play. Back to Cabaretta. It advances Mickey Cochran to second. 2 gone and the man on second for the Tigers in the first half of the first inning. Here's Goslin up at the plate. Goslin hasn't made a hit yet in the series. A left-handed batter playing left field for the Tigers. Now Lee is ready to pitch to him. The first one comes in very close. Almost clipped him in the shoulder, and the Goose fell out of the way in a hurry. Ball 1. Tigers have a man on second base with 2 gone in the first half of the first inning. Bill Lee is getting a sign. Here's the next pitch, a slow ball, and it was just a little bit low. Ball 2. Bill McGowan, the umpire back at the plate, just ball down in his punches that time to be sure he saw it right. He is getting his sign now. Here comes the next pitch to Goslin, a slow ball, and he drives a high short fly back at the infield, back at second base. Jervis is back under it. He should get it, and he has it, retiring the side. Goslin hit a short fly ball back at second base on the grass in short center field. Jervis ran back and caught it, and it retires the side. No runs, no hits, and 1 error. Now the game is going into the last half of the first inning with the Tigers in their gray uniforms, dark blue caps, and blue stockings going on to the field. Goslin left field, White center field, Pete Fox in right field. Marvin Owen is playing first base today in place of the injured Hank Greenberg. At second base is Charlie Gehringer. At shortstop is Billy Rogel, and the third baseman, Lee Clifton. Elden Auker is out there in the pitcher's circle now, getting the dirt all smoothed down to his liking. The first man to bat for the Cubs will be Augie Galland, the left fielder. Augie so far has 1 hit in the series. Auker's whipping over the few to the catcher now. Hayworth, one of the substitute catchers, while Cochran gets on his mask, shin guards, and chest protectors. Here's Mickey coming out to the plate. And the last half of the first inning of the third game of the World Series is about to get underway. The Tigers in their half. No runs, no hits, and 1 error. White struck out. Cochran was safe on Billy Herman's error. Gehringer went out on the flash play. Back to Cabaretta, and Goslin popped to Jervis behind second base. No runs and no hits. Elden Auker takes a couple of extra practice throws out there, and now Bill McGowan takes out his whisk broom and dusts off the plate. Augie Galland at that, the Cub left fielder. We're in a 12-point advantage here in Chicago to see everything that happens just to the left of the plate. Nobody on, nobody out. Last half of the first inning, no score. Here's the pitch. He drives it base hit in the right field. Galland drove a line drive between first and second in the right field. Fox gets the ball back into Gehringer in a hurry, and Galland stops at first. There's the first hit of the game. Galland sharp single in the right field. Here's Billy Herman. Billy has made 1 hit so far in the series. The right-handed batter. Led the National League in 2 base hits this year. Led the National League in number of hits made. Beat out Medwick of the Cardinals. Now Galland is taking a short lead off the first base. Auker's getting ready with the pitch. It's a nice one, shoulder high, right over the outside corner. Strike one is called to Billy Herman. Auker's keeping an eye on the man on first. Gets ready to pitch again. Here it is. Billy swung and missed. Right up there again around his shoulder. And it's 2 strikes. Mickey Cochran cocked his arm that time. He thought he might throw the ball to first base. And Augie hustled to get back there to first base safely. Cochran didn't throw it. The man on first. Elden Auker pitching to the Tigers. He's ready. Here's the next one. It's low into the dirt. Cochran has to throw himself in front of the ball that time to be sure that it didn't get away from him and allow Galland to go to second. Right in the dirt. there's a gent who certainly defies superstition. He's wearing a big number 13 on the back of his gray uniform. That's the number that most of the players won't go for. Auker's getting ready. Here's the next pitch. Strike three. Billy Herman struck out. A fastball right up around his shoulders, and Herman goes out on strike. One gone. Here's the center fielder, Freddie Lindstrom, up at the plate. Right-handed batter. That has one hit so far in the series. We're just going to account as each man comes to bat for the first time the number of hits that he's made in the series. Those of you who are keeping the card can mark it down. Here's the next pitch. There goes the runner down and hit in one play. He hits a little roller around the third base line. Third baseman comes in fast. Too late. It's a hit. Winston hit a little roller along the third baseline. Winston came in fast, scooped up the ball with his left hand, threw it over to first base, but it was too late. Winston beat it for a hit, and the Cubs had runners on first and second. Here's Gabby Hartnett up. He has 3 hits so far in the series. Cubs have a man on first and a man on second. Gabby up at the plate now, waiting for Auker's first pitch. 2 men on. First pitch was high and outside to Gabby for a ball. Ball 1. Auker takes a lot of time out there, gets the dirt smoothed down around the pitcher's rubber, draws his arms up in front of him. Now he's all set. Here's the next pitch. Gabby tried to back out of the way of a pitch in close, and the ball hit the handle of his bat, went back against the screen, and it's a foul strike. The count is 1-1 for Hartnett. Gabby's had a great year this year. Finished the season with an average of over 340. Clifton playing third. Rogel at short. Geringer second. Marvin Owen at first today for Detroit. Greenberg is not playing. Auker's getting it signed again. Here's the next pitch to Hartnett. He swung at a fastball below his shoulders and missed it. And the count is ball 1 and strike 2. That was right in there. Auker's working slowly and very deliberately out there. Now he looks down at Cochran, again getting it signed. Deland leading off at second. Lindstrom off at first. Here's the pitch. He hits the ground ball out to the shortstop. Rogel up with him over to second, out. Back over to first base. Out. A double play. Hartnett hit into a fast double play. Short to second to first. Rogel to Geringer to Owen. That was a perfect double play ball. Hit sharply on the ground, close to second base. Billy Rogel scooped it up, tossed it to the second baseman Geringer, and then over to Owen at first, and it retires the side. The Cubs made no runs, and there were 2 hits. Deland led off with a single to right field. Billy Herman struck out. Lindstrom beat out a slow roller down the third base line, putting Cub runners on first and second. Then Hartnett hit into a fast double play. Rogel to Geringer to Owen. No runs and 2 hits. Now we're going into the second inning of this third game of the World Series in Chicago at Wrigley Field. No score on either side. There's Bill Lee out there on the mound. Gabby just coming up to the plate. Tucker Stainback is up at the plate catching the field. Bill McGowan is dusting off the plate now. Cubs in their white uniforms have just finished pegging the ball around the infield. Everybody turns around now facing the batter, and we're all set now to start the second inning of this game. The first man to bat for Detroit, coming up to the plate now, is the right fielder, Pete Clark. He's made 3 hits so far in the series. He bats right-handed. There's a high foul which is going off there to the right, back near the railing. Gabby is fouling the ball back. He's under it, and he has it for the first out. Stop. Foul to Hartnett. Off there to the right near the railing. Gabby went back within 2 feet of the railing around the lower boxes between the plate and first base. Just about 10 feet toward first base and directly over to the railing. Now the next man to come up is Rogel, the shortstop. He has 2 hits so far in the series. First one is right over the plate for a tall strike. Strike 1. Here's the next pitch from Lee. Fastball low and outside. A ball, and the count is 4-1, strike 1 to Rogel. Nobody on the bases. 1 gone. First half of the second. No score on either side. Lee opposing Elden Auker. Here's the next pitch. Fastball. He hits the grounder down toward Cabaretta. Cabaretta and Lee get mixed up on who's to take the ball, and it's safe at first. Cabaretta finally picks the ball up and throws it to Lee, and Lee lets the ball get away from him down the first base line, and the runner goes to second. Now let's see what the official score is going to call it. It's a ground ball a little bit to the right of Cabaretta. Cabaretta started for it and then thought the pitcher was going to cover it, so he beat it back to first base, and Lee stopped. It's called a hit and an error. A hit and an error. Cavaletta gets the error. He made a bad throw to lead at first base finally after picking up the ball, and the runner goes all the way to second. A hit and an error. Next man to come up is the first baseman, Marvin Owen. Swung at the first one and missed it. One strike. When Cavaletta saw that Lee wasn't going for the ball, he had to go after it, and Lee then ran over to first base too late, and Cavaletta's throw was very low to him, hit him in the knee, and rolled on the first base line, and the runner went to second. Next pitch to Owen is high, a ball. Count is 4-1, strike one. Rogel on second base for Detroit. One out. First half of the second inning. First baseman Marvin Owen is batting. Pitch hit at the shortstop. Close to second. Billy Jurgis is up to the ball over to first base, and he's out. Short to first. Jurgis to Cavaletta. Who's on? Next man to come up is the third baseman, Clifton. Tigers have a man on third base now with 2 out here in the first half of the second inning. Cubs are playing back on the infield. The outfield is playing in a little bit. Clifton back right-handed. His batting average for the year is 255. This is his first appearance in the World Series of 1935. First pitch is a strike. Lee is getting the sign again. Here's the next one. He hits the ground ball back at Lee, knocks it down, picks it up over to first base, and he's out with high on the side. Lee jumped up into the air to catch that ball off the bounce. It bounced in front of him and then high into the air. He swept the ball with his glove. As the side to fall with the ground, he caught it again. Threw the ball easily over to first base. The Pirates tripped him and the side. The Tigers made no runs. There was one hit, and there was one error. Fox led off in the inning by fouling the Hartman over near the railing. Then Rogel got credit for an infield hit when Cavaletta and Lee had trouble making up their minds as to who was to field the ball and who was to cover first. When he went to second base when Cavaletta slowed and Lee was bad and hit him in the knee and rolled down the first base line. Owen went out. Jurgis to Cavaletta. Clifton went out. Pitcher to first. Lee to Cavaletta. With the Tigers aside, no runs and one hit. Now we're going into the last half of the second inning of the third game of the World Series in Chicago. There was no score on either side. Lee, a right-hander, pitching to the Cubs, and Elden Auker, a right-hander, pitching for the Tigers. First man to bat for the Cubs is Demaree, the right fielder, who so far has made 3 hits in the series. He's standing down here in front of us now as the Tigers get put out there. Auker is getting a bit of practice in, looking over the feet of Mickey Cochran. Center fielder and the right fielder, who are both playing sun field there, adjust their glasses, and we're all set now to start the last half of the second inning. Here's Demaree up at the plate. Dave McGowan, the umpire, takes his mask down over his face, takes his position behind Mickey Cochran, and now the last half of the second inning is getting underway. Auker stands out there on the rubber getting a sign. Now he's winding up. Here's the pitch to Demaree. It's a fastball right below his shoulder and right over the plate. Beauty. Strike one is called. Auker gets ready again. Here's the next pitch. Slow ball, and it is a nice one. Right in there, right over the heart of the plate for strike 2. Auker seems to have superb control out there today. Demaree steps out of the batter's box, dries his hands, then gets up in there again. Comes to side on the plate a couple of times. Here's the next pitch. No underhand ball, and he hits a fly ball back into right field. Back. It's a home run. Demaree just drove the ball over the right field fence for a home run. There he goes around second, jogging down slowly toward third. He just crossed the bag. Saladin puts him in the back. He's running down the third baseline. He's almost to the plate. He's over the plate. Shake hands with Cavaletta and holds up the bat boy. Shake hands with Stanley Hack, and now he's running back toward the Cubs dugout. The Cubs are leading in the third game of the World Series, 1-0. Demaree hit a pitch, a fastball, which was up high, right over the right field fence, into the lower bleachers. Here's Phil Cavaletta up at the plate. First pitch is that slow ball again, and gee, it's a sweet slow ball this fella has. He controls it beautifully. Strike 1. Auker's getting inside again. There's the underhand pitch, and he drives the liner into center field. The center fielder is waiting for it, and he has it right at his knees for the first out. Cavaletta met that ball squarely and drove it on the line in the center field. Joe White was waiting for it and caught it right at his knees for the first out. 1-1. Here's the third baseman, Stanley Hack, has made 1 hit so far in the series. Left-handed batter. Starting now in the last half of the second inning. With 1 run in, 1 gone, and nobody on the bases. First pitch, right in there. Just above his waist for a called strike. Elden Auker opposing Lee in the third game of the World Series. Olin is playing first and Clifton third. There's a hit into left field. Goslin takes the ball on the bounce, falls down while Simmons gets up in a hurry and wings it back into the infield. Hack drove a liner right over the third baseman's head into left field. Goslin came in, caught the ball on the first bounce. Got it back into the infield, and Hack stops at first. Here's Jurgis up. That was the fourth Cub hit. Here's Bill Jurgis batting with his teammate on first. There goes the runner down on the first pitch. There goes the throw. He slides in, and he stays at second. Hack stole second. Hack broke for second base with the first pitch to Bill Jurgis. The pitch was in low and in close. Cochran grabbed it, shot it down to second base. Hack slid, and he's safe at second. It's a stolen base for Hack. Puts him in a scoring position with one out here in the last half of the second inning, and the Cubs leading the Tigers by a score of 1-0. Auker's getting his sign now. Here's the pitch to Jurgis, a slow ball right across his knees, a called strike. The count is 1-1. Ball 1 and strike 1. That, by the way, was Demaree's second home run of the series. He has 2 home runs. Greenberg has 1. Pitcher gets ready again. The next one to Jurgis. He hits the ground ball down the third baseline. It gets away from Clifton. Hack is flying for third, and he's safe at third. The pitch Cub runners on first and third. It is a ground ball down the third baseline, close to the bag. Clifton leaned over to pick the ball up, and the ball scooted out of his hands over the foul line. He chased the ball over the foul line, and Hack comes to third base standing up, and it puts Cub runners on first and third. It's an error for Clifton. The official score ruled that he should have held the ball. It's an error for Clifton. Puts Cub runners on first and third. Next man to come up will be the pitcher, Bill Lee. That is the third error so far in the game. Man on first and a man on third for the Cubs. 1 run in on Demaree's homer. 1 gone in the last half of the second inning. Here's Lee up at the plate. He bats right-handed. Auker's ready. First pitch a little bit close at the knee. A ball. Lee stands well over 6 feet tall. About 6 feet 2 1/2. He's wearing number 15 in the back of his white uniform. Now he's crouching over that plate with that bat held out in front of him. He doesn't move it around much. The next pitch he hits the ground ball out toward close to the second baseman. Gerrans is up with it over the first base. He's out. The run scores, and the Cubs are leading 2-0. He hit a ground ball between first and second. Geringer picked the ball up. It was a slow roller. Threw it over the first base to a tire lead. In the meantime, Hack scores from third, and the Cubs are leading Detroit 2-0. Jurgis advances to second. Now the top of the batting order with Augie Gallan up at the plate. He singled to right field the first time up. Batting now with a teammate on second. 2 gone and 2 runs in the last half of the second inning. Elden Auker getting a sign from Cochran. The pitch. There's that slow ball in close to Augie's shoulder. And Augie jumps out of the box. 1 ball. Now he taps his guy on the plate. He's watching Auker. Auker keeps an eye on the runner on second base. He's ready. Here's the pitch. Fastball. A little bit outside at the waist. The ball. Makes it ball 2. Auker peers down at Cochran getting his sign. Here's the next pitch. Over the plate, and Gallan went all the way around. Did you hear that ooh from the crowd? Gallan went around that time trying to connect with that ball, and he missed it. And the count is ball 2 and strike 1. Augie Gallan with a man in the scoring position on second base. He's batting with 2 gone. Auker's getting his sign now. Here's the next pitch. Fastball, and he hits the fly ball in the left field, which Goslin should get. He's in, he's under it, and he has it, retiring the side. Jurgis is left on the base. The Cubs make 2 runs, 2 hits, and there was 1 error. Within a few days after the World Series, the new board of 1936 will be introduced and will be on display at 4 dealers everywhere. Just a few seconds until the beginning of the third inning. And as the first hitter up for Detroit, Elden Auker, the pitcher, comes sliding up to the plate, swinging his war club in both hands, running his hands by going on them. While we'll turn the picture right back to Bob Elson, who will tell you what transpires down on the action arena. Well, thank you, Red. Now we're going into the first half of the third inning. First man to bat for Detroit. Coming up to the plate now is the pitcher, Auker. Nobody on and nobody out. We're starting the first half of the third. The score is the Cubs 2 and Detroit nothing. Ernie Quigley calls time here while he goes over to the Cubs dugout to talk to somebody in the Cubs dugout. Now he's going back to his position at third, and the players being resumed. Here's Auker up batting right-handed. First pitch was low and outside. A ball. Ball 1. Cubs 2, the Tigers nothing. The game's in the first half of the third with the pitcher Auker up. Lee is getting ready again. He's the next one. He hits a high foul. Off there to the right. Cabletter's chasing it. Hartletter's chasing it. Gabby's calling for it. And he grabs the ball on the run right over near the Detroit dugout. A very nice catch. Gabby Hartlet ran all the way over to the Detroit dugout right next to the railing. Cabletter was also fouling the ball over. They were both running toward each other. And Gabby was calling the ball and fouling it and called for it and took it right over near the railing for the first out. Auker fouled for Hartlet. Here's the top of the batting order. White is up at the plate. He struck out the first time. There's a ground ball past the pitcher. Out towards Billy Herman. Up with it over to first base, and he's out. Billy Herman to Cabaretta for the second out. That was a ground ball just past the pitcher to the first base side of the pitcher. Right out towards Billy Herman. Billy took it on the second bounce, whipped it over to first base, and he's out. Billy Herman to Cabaretta. He's on. Here's Mickey Cochran. He was safe on an error the first time up. That's left-handed. Here's the first pitch to Cochran, and it's a strike. Right below his shoulders, right over the plate. One strike. He working slowly. Starts his wind up again. Here's the next pitch. Slow ball, and it's inside. Mickey started to swing that time, but he stopped in time, and it's called a ball. The count is ball one and strike one. Nobody on the bases and two gone in the first half of the third. Cubs 2, Tigers nothing. Lee opposing Auker. Next pitch is inside. Forces the left-hand hitter right out of the batter's box to the third post. And the count is ball 2 and strike one. Hack third, Jurgis short. Billy Herman second, Cabaretta first. Lee is ready. Here's the next pitch. Low and outside a ball. Makes it 3-1 now for Cochran. That is a fastball just a little bit outside at the knee. He is winding up right now. He's ready. Here's the next pitch to Cochran. Outside, it's ball 4. Cochran gets the play. Well, that's the first walk of the game. Will Lee issues a pass to Mickey Cochran after 2 are gone in the first half of the third. Now the next man to come up is Charlie Gehringer. Gehringer was thrown out by Hack the first time up. He is ready to pitch to him. First one was low and outside. A ball to Charlie. Ball 1. Lee takes a look around to see that everybody's in place. Now he's getting a sign. Keeps an eye on Cochran on first base, who has a short lead off. The next pitch, a strike right below his shoulder. Gehringer backed out of the way. He thought the pitch was coming in close, but it just hit the corner right below his shoulder. A called strike, and the count is 1-1. Lee is ready again. Here's the next pitch. High and outside. Will Lee mixing him up out there. Threw that one very high and outside. And the count is ball 2 and strike 1 for Gehringer. Cochran has a short lead off of first base. He's not taking any chances here with 2 gone. Here's the pitch. He hits a hard, safe ground ball right past Cabaretta into right field. It's a safe hit. Demaree juggled the ball momentarily, but recovered in time and got the ball across the infield at third base. And Mickey Cochran stopped at second. That noise you hear is because Demaree picked up the ball in right field and made a perfect throw to third base. Just threw it over there on a beeline. And the crowd approves of that long, accurate throw. Now the Tigers have 2 men on the bases. It's a clean hit into right field for Charlie Gehringer. That was the second hit for the Tigers. Here's Goslin up. Goslin flied out to Lindstrom in center field the first time. Starting now with 2 men on and 2 out. Slow ball, high and outside. Ball 1. That was Gehringer's third hit of the series. Cochran on second, Gehringer on first. 2 gone in the first half of the third inning, which is getting a sign out there. Here's the next one. Goslin jumps away from a fastball in close at the knee, and it's ball 2. Lee turns around, takes his glove off, rubs the ball around in his hands a bit. Now he's watching the runners. He has his sign already. Here's the next pitch to Goslin, a slow ball. He hits a fly ball out into left center field. Deland is going over fast, jumps up and grabs it right against the screen in left center field to retire the side. Deland went way back in left center field, jumped up into the air for that long fly ball off the bat of Goose. Goslin caught it as he jumped into the bleacher where it marked 364 feet right against the screen, and it retired the side. It was one of the fielding gems of the series. The crowd is giving him a very nice hand. 2 men are left on the bases for Detroit. No runs, 1 hit, and no errors. Well, That was a great play by little Augie Galan. He was playing in direct left field, and he had to run way back in left center. The ball was hit over his head, and he was racing back and over towards center field when he leaped into the air and caught the ball, retiring the side. Leaving Tiger runners on first and second. No run, one hit. The hit that time was by Gehringer, a sharp ground ball into right field. Cochran walked. The first man up, Auker, fouled a Hartnett. White was thrown out by Billy Herman. Cochran walked. Gehringer singled to right field, putting runners on first and second. Goslin flied to Galan in deep left center. No runs and one hit. The game is going into the last half of the third inning. The score is the Cubs 2, the Tigers nothing. The pitchers are Elden Auker, a right-hander, and Bill Lee, a right-hander. Now the first man to bat for the Cubs in the last half of the third inning, Billy Herman. Bats right-handed. A little bit more of a wind now is coming out of the west and blowing toward the lake. Here's the first pitch to Billy, and he swings and fouls the ball off of Mickey's mask. One strike. The ball drops at Cochran's feet. He picks it up and shows it to umpire Bill McGowan, who rubs it around in his hand, says it's okay, and throws it back to the pitcher. Third game of the World Series in Chicago. The Cubs are leading 2-0 in the last half of the third. Billy Herman watches a slow ball sail by, and gee, that was a beauty. Strike two, right over the plate. Billy Herman struck out the first time up. Auker blows on his pitching hand to try to warm it a bit. Now he's ready out there. Here's the next pitch. Way outside. Cochran has to go far out to his right for that one, and it's ball one and strike two for Billy. Charlie Grimm over here at our left, coaching at third. Johnny Corridon down at first. Auker's ready. Here's the next pitch. An underhand ball. He hits the grounder down the third base line. Clifton comes up with the ball in a short hop, gets it over to first base, and he's out on a nice play. Clifton came up with that ball in a short hop right near the bag. Came up with it cleanly, threw it over to first base, and it's out at first on a nice play. Clifton to Owen. One gone. If he hadn't have timed that bounce perfectly, that ball would have got away from him surely. Here's Freddie Lindstrom up. He singled the first time up, a slow roller down the third base line. He hits the ground ball down the third base line. Clifton comes up with it, over to first base, and he's out. Clifton to Owen. He's gone. Clifton threw himself to his knees that time in front of the ball. He was going to make sure that it didn't get away from him. But he caught the ball perfectly, threw it over to first base, and it's out at first. Clifton to Owen. He's gone. Here's Gabby up. Gabby hit into a fast double play the first time up. Now he's up for the second time today with two outs. Foul ball back into the screen. One strike. Cubs are batting in the last half of the third inning. They're leading 2-0. Hartnett is up with two out and nobody on. Auker's drying his hands on the rosin bag. He was stooping over. Now he straightens up. Wipes his pitching hand across the front of his uniform. Now he's starting his windup. Here's the pitch. Gabby hits a ground ball out toward the second baseman Gehringer, up with it over to first base, and he's out, retiring the side. Gehringer to Owen. No run, no hit, and no errors. Herman was up first. He was thrown out by Clifton. Lindstrom was up. He hit a slow roller to Lindstrom, who threw him out. Lindstrom was up and hit a slow roller to Clifton, who threw him out. And then Hartnett hit one back at Gehringer, who threw him out in a fast play. Gehringer to Owen, and it retires the side. No runs and no hits. At the end of 3 innings, in the third game of the World Series in Chicago, the score, the Chicago Cubs 2, the Detroit Tigers nothing. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
This is WGN Tribune Square, Chicago.
Now we're all set for the start of the fourth inning. The Cubs are on the field. The Tigers are coming to bat for their turn in the first half of the fourth inning. And now it's my pleasure to introduce my associate in these broadcasts, Red Barber. Okay, Red.
Thanks, Bob. And first up for Detroit as we go into the top half of the fourth inning is Pete Fox, the right fielder. It's right-handed. The lead guy right-handed comes down with a fast one, speaking right over the middle and under the letters for a call, strike one. The first pitch of the fourth inning. Chicago leading Detroit 2-0 in this the third game of the World Series. He want to wind up towards. Fox swings at the high infield pop-up down by shortstop. Third baseman Hack goes over. Shortstop Jurgis waits, cries for it, hits it. Right in front of second base. The ball floating from halfway between second and third, all the way down in front of second base. And Jurgis waiting for it, camping underneath it, and handling. And it's one up and one gone for Detroit in the first half of the fourth inning. Bill Lee was given up but 2 hits. One of them very scratchy in 3 and the third innings. Seems to be settling down. Takes the sign, third to work to Rogel, who's hitting left-handed. To the lips of the Perkins, called strike one, just above the knees and over. Billy Rogel, a switch hitter. getting an opportunity this afternoon to bat left-handed against right-handed offering. Bill Lee, 6'3" right-hander, gets 195 pounds behind the swing. Down comes the pitch. It's swung on. It's a high one out into short right field. Billy Herman goes back to second base. He drives everybody away from him and makes the catch. That's all for Rogel. Flying out into short right field. Second baseman Billy Herman going back neatly, waiting underneath it and taking it. And Demaree, to be doubly sure that Billy Herman didn't get nervous about the right fielder coming pounding in behind him, was hollering and staying out of the way. As Marv Owen, batting right-handed, takes the first pitch across his face, inside for ball one. Owen hitting right-handed, standing midway in batter's box, not taking his stick, proving himself the most versatile and useful player. Regular third baseman playing in first this afternoon. Greenberg out. The pitch Owen swings, misses on a curve, taking down under his bat, and it's call, and it's strike one. 1-1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Owen went out to that one hard, and steps back out of batter's box, composed himself for the moment. Lets off his hand, steps back up now, taps the meat end of his bat down on the plate, sets, waits, Lee delivers, hits in, yes, swung on, the ground ball hopping down to short. Jurgis comes up with the clean, there's a throw into first, Cabrera ropes it in, and that's all for Marv Owen. And it was in 1-2-3 order on very few pitches in the first half of the fourth inning. Owen going out short to first. Go for Detroit. Not a ball being hit really out of the infield. In fact, that short fly ball into right, which second baseman Herman was able to take. Well, that was all for the Tigers in the first half before. Out in order. They're settling down. Auker has been pitching great ball with the exception of the second inning. He delivered to Demaree first up in that second inning. A rising ball. He started with that underhand submarine motion just a couple of inches off the slab, and it was shoulder high by the time it reached the plate. It went still high as Demaree loaded above the 10-foot wire screen and into the spectators in the permanent right field bleachers for a home run. Then, of course, that error didn't help Auker any and led mainly to Chicago's second run in the last half of the second. So the Cubs leading 2-0, and now Chicago, after being retired in 1-3 order without hitting a ball out of the infield in the last round, is up on the offensive here in the last half of the fourth. Demaree, who led off that second inning with a home run, is now first up. Pitch right-handed. Does he carry a lot of power in those wide shoulders of his? Auker delivers from low. The pitch comes inside, not rising enough, and it's ball one. Auker gets set. In it comes. The pitch. It's a high one. It's hit out toward right field and foul. Foul going into the spectators deep behind right field. And, of course, the Chicago fans happy seeing their first World Series game this 1935 with their Cubs contending. Immediately stepped to their feet and started yelling as the ball looked as though it might be almost a replica of the ball that Demaree pounded out toward right in the second inning. The Detroit outfield is pulled around toward right. They're not playing Demaree as a pull hitter. Frank stands back out of batter's back for a second. Auker standing quietly there on the hill, takes his time to Mickey Cochran. Cochran comes out of his crouch now, sits submitted to target. Demaree waits, that Cochran behind his right ear, swings, fouls it straight back to the netting behind home, and it is 2 strikes and nothing. 2 strikes and 1 ball. 2 strikes and 1 ball to Frank Demaree. First batter up in the last half of the fourth inning. Chicago leading 2-0. This ball game is looked upon as a very crucial one, as the pivot upon which success or failure may crown the efforts of the two contending teams. Auker takes quite a bit of time in rubbing up a new baseball being given him. Goes on his right hand for a moment. Now steps. Lanky, tall, almost giant figure. The Kansas goes in action. In comes the pitch. Demaree swings. It's a high fly going out into short center field. Under it comes White. Under it and has it. White was cutting first to his right, then to his left, zigzagging as though he were a halfback running through a broken field. But he was there when that ball came down because the wind was sweeping in and caused that ball to float down this way and down that. And White was coming right underneath it and staying with it. That's all the Demaree disposed of. Joe White, unassisted, first batter up in the last half of the fourth. Now the hitter is Phil Cavaretta. It's left-handed. Takes the first one inside, leaning back from it. Ball one. 1 ball and nothing to Phil Cavaretta. Little Italian picked up from the sandlot right here of his native Chicago. Auker delivers. The pitch comes over neatly for call, strike 1. 1-1. That one broke. Gets himself. There's the chewing gum up there. Auker delivers easily. It's a floater that comes inside for ball 2. He pulled the string on that one, but didn't have the control. 2 balls, 1 strike. Phil Cavaretta, 1 out, nobody on. Last half of the fourth. Auker delivers. It's a pass from Cavaretta, slugs down towards second base. Up comes Garinger with it. The throw to first is in plenty of time, and Cavaretta hustling all the way is thrown out by 4 steps. And it's 2 up and 2 gone for Chicago in the last half of the fourth. And the ball game is settling down now to be a pitcher's battle as Auker realizing that he cannot let the lead get any more top-heavy against him, and Bill Lee trying to make the most of his lead. The hitter is Stanley Hack, who swing of his first time up. Swings in the first pitch. It's a high foul back onto the netting. 4 strike 1. Stanley Hack batting left-handed. A very sharp pair of eyes. The pitch at the bottom down toward first base. Owen stayed right with it, and it was a very polished play by Marv Owen, who was playing out of position. So for the second straight round, Auker has the pass order without permitting a man to get on first base. At the end of the fourth inning, it is 2 runs, 4 hits, and 2 errors for the Chicago Cubs. This is the third game of the World Series. No runs, 2 hits, and 1 error for the Detroit Tigers. Bob.
This broadcast of the World Series comes to you with the compliments of the Ford Motor Company and the Ford Dealers of America. Cubs are on the field. Tigers coming to bat now for their turn in the first half of the fifth. Okay, Red.
First up as we go on to the beginning of the fifth inning is Clifton, utility infielder who is getting a crack at World Series contention here this afternoon. Of course, Clifton is very happy and thrilled to be in the series. You know that Clifton and the Detroit Tigers are not very happy over Hank Greenberg being out of the lineup. Clifton playing at third base, hitting right-handed for a second try. Swings in the first one. It's a short drive out toward left center field. And Lindstrom covering the road of territory is there when the liner comes close to Terry Turner and makes the catch. A wide, roaming catch by Freddie Lindstrom, who came out of center field into left center. Right in there where those permanent left field bleachers jut out into the outfield, where it says 364 feet. Lindstrom really got a hold of that one with a bang. Freddie Lindstrom was just a little too fast on his feet, shifting right in and having it perfectly gauged in time. About now is Auker, the pitcher, hitting right-handed up for a second try. Swings in the first, it's a high foul back up on top of the second tier. Back behind home. 1 strike and nothing to Elden Auker. He stepped up there on the hill. Neither pitcher uses the windup this afternoon. They both prepped themselves. Sort of a half-arc pump up above their heads. They're ready. Down comes the pitch. Auker taking and ball strike 2 under his shoulder, clipping the outside corner. Auker's very big. He's 6'2.5", 195 pounds, and leaves the same weight and a half and taller. The big Louisianan cuts it loose. It's inside, ball 1. 2 strikes, 1 ball to Elden Auker. 1 out for Detroit. Top half of the fifth inning, nobody on. Got this thing straight away on Auker. Swinging one way or the other, defiantly. The toss, Auker almost reaches forward, decides not, but it is given, called strike 3, and Auker walks out of batter's box slowly without saying a word. Elden Auker called on the third strike. He had half a hunch to swing, to check the swing, but it cost him just the same. That's the second strikeout for Bill Lee. Auker has 1. The batter at the top of the order, J.J. White. First pitch is White in and over as Bill Lee is blazingly going to work. And it's strike 1. He leads down off the hill, pushed his head to get the visor of his cap, throw a little shade on his eye, get the sign, now delivers. White, the left-handed batter, slugs it right back past the mound, over second base, out in the center field. It is a terrific, sharp single. White running to the left at first base, cuts back in, as Lindstrom accurately picks up the hit and relays it back into the keystone. J.J. White gets his first hit this afternoon. A sharp single right back through the middle, just partially deflected by Bill Lee's glove. He made a stab for it, but it was no use. That's the third hit off Lee and the 7th hit of the ball game. Now with 1 out, White very fast on his feet at first base. The hitter is Mike Crockett, who's been on every time he's been up today, despite not getting a hit. He got on to Billy Herman's error in the opening round and was passed in the third inning, the sole walk of the game. Crockett hitting left-handed, doesn't choke his bat, stands there. White takes a good healthy lead off first, Calvetta holding the inside corner. Lee watches first, a little quick into the third. Cochran takes outside, waist high, ball 1. Cochran leans over, rather contemplatively and fondly touches home plate, that payoff plan. It'll hit the end of his bat. And Mickey Green could walk up back to rest behind his left ear, keeps his eyes intently burning on Lee. The pitch, Cochran taking, and Hartnett threatens to throw down the first, but holds his fire as White ducks back in. The pitch falls strike 1. 1-1 to Cochran. 2 outs, White leading down off first. He takes a cautious stretch, gets set, and then the pitch, Cochran swing. Out toward right field, Demaree coming in fast. Makes a rolling, sitting second catch of it, and Cochran is out, robbed by Demaree. This World Series is certainly going to make the name of Demaree a household word around Chicago. Frank Demaree coming in on the wings of the wind from deep right field, up inside the right field foul line, had to dive forward into a half-sitting sliding position, and he made the catch as the back of his glove, the underside of his glove, the open part was skidding along the grass nuts, and he held it, rolled over, and then proudly showed the ball to the umpires, but the ball was in sight all the way through. A great catch. One of the great of the series, and there will be none much greater. A great catch by Frank Demaree, and that was all for Cochran. That was sure robbery on Mick Cochran. A great play by Demaree. No runs, 1 hit. in the top half of the fifth inning. One left on, and a strikeout for Lee. Going into the last half of the fifth inning. It's an official ball game now, as the last half of the fifth inning turns up. The home club leading Chicago 2-0. But this ball game will be played through to the bitter end. Saying that it's an official ball game doesn't mean anything in the slightest. Old Saul is burning down, giving us his brightest full-toothed smile. Elden Auker warms up his right arm leisurely, gets what kinks out of it, and may have a stumble while he was sitting on the dugout, and batting in the top half of the fifth. He's ready to work against Chicago in the last half of the fifth inning. First up for the Cubs will be Bill Jurgis, who hits seventh, who hits eighth in the list. Jurgis first up. He got onto an error by third baseman Tipton. His first trip up for a second try. Right-handed hitter gets back from one inside on his shins. It's ball one. The first pitch for the last half of the fifth. Jurgis sets. Has a good luck emblem number 11, baseman red across the back of his white home uniform. Takes a low one, and it is ball two. 2 balls, no strikes. Auker slips his glove back up his left wrist, takes both bad palms, and visits him massages the ball. Touches the bill of his cap, goes to the right and back a moment. He doesn't show any signs of nervousness, just walks sedately, takes his time around the hill. Now he's set to go. Balances himself, cuts it loose. Jurgis takes it inside for ball 3. 3 balls to nothing. This is the most serious hole that Auker's been in this afternoon. And that ball is taken out of play, causing Aston for a new one, and gets it. Auker busily rubbing this one up. Now sets himself down the hill, takes a sign from Cochran. It'll be his mission in life now to try and register the automatic strike. Jurgis sets, doesn't choke his bat. The pitch, Jurgis takes it, and the strike is called. 3-1. Waist high and over. Auker's getting himself and just throwing it in. Now the submariner comes down off the hill. All set to use that 6 for 2.5 frame, delivers, and it is inside for ball 4, and Bill Jurgis first up from the last half of the fifth inning is Robert Stampton put on first base. That is the first base on ball given up on. Offensive, no doubt, is anticipating a bunt. Detroit is looking for it, and Lee does sacrifice toward the mound. Auker comes down off the hill, looks for second, sees no use, plays it to first base to second, Guaranty, who covers, and Lee is out on a neat sacrifice. Bunted halfway between pitcher's mound and first base. Bill Lee out on the sacrifice, thrown out. Auker to Charlie Gehringer, who comes over and covers at second base. And Jurgis is stepped down to the keystone on the bunt. Now with one out, Jurgis in potential scoring territory for a single on second base, and the hitter is Augie Galan, who has 1 for 2 this afternoon. Galan, a switch hitter, is batting left-handed against right-hander Auker. Auker sets. Galan waits, takes it, ducking back from it inside on the knees. Ball 1. Jurgis takes the lead down on second. Auker looks at him for a moment. Down comes the pitch. Galan swings, misses, and spins halfway around in windmill fashion. He almost figured himself out when he didn't connect. Now it's 1-1. Augie Galan. The Frenchman puts those brown eyes, watches Auker, the pitch. It's in there. Galan swings on it. It's a short line drive through the hole between first and second to deep right field. The team hit. Jurgis on third, comes into the plate, and Galan holds up at first with a single. Then when the ball rolls through the infield, gets away from Cochran for the moment. Galan, a leg goes down 2 seconds. But Jurgis was in ahead of the throw, and the ball bounded around, getting the arm very late, went right on into the keystone, and he's there now. And the score is 3-0 in favor of Chicago. 3-0 in favor of Chicago. Galan on second base. A virtue of that single, and the batter is Herman. Herman, he has the blow this afternoon. Up for a second try, hitting right-handed. He'll swing first and hard, misses for strike 1. Is Auker bent it down just above the waist. So that 1 base on ball given up by Auker has cost him. Auker looks back at second. Galan, one of the fastest players in baseball, leaps down. The pitch. Herman swings at the short line drive, but Owen cannot hold at first base, knocks it down, but Herman is on first ahead of Owen's attempted throw into the pitch, and Galan goes down to third. The ball is kicked around on the ground there for a moment between Auker and Owen, and Galan threatens to come home, but Auker recovers, picks up the ball, runs it back toward pitcher's mound, and Galan holds on at third base. And I don't see how the official score can give that anything but a smashing single for Billy Herman. Our position today is unfortunate as far as seeing the official score, and we have to guess a lot, but at any rate we're not second guessing. A terrific line drive smash for a hit. Yes, it scored as a hit by Billy Herman off the drawn of Marv Owen down at first base. And Herman is on first, and Galan on that single moved down to third base. Tigers taking a little time. Auker deliberating out there on the hill. 1 run already over. Chicago leading 3-0. Freddie Lynch him up. 1 out, runners on first and third. Lynch hitting right-handed. Takes the first one on the outside corner above the knees, and it's called strike 1. 1 strike called on Lynchman. And Mason Ball shouldn't have started things off. Also takes a catch, lets it third for the moment. Lets it first, now delivers. Liston reaches out first, hits it down towards second base. Guerringer comes up to second. Miguel gets it to first. It is a double play. A double play. The decision is forced at first, and Linston comes out and begins to protest to Donnie Stark, but it doesn't do any use. A double play. Linston reaching out for an outside one. Tapped it down towards second. Guerringer came up with it and neatly got it into Billy Rogel, who took the throw at second, forcing the oncoming Herman from first base for the first out of the twin killing and the second out of the inning, and the third out of the inning and the second out of the double play was immediately registered on Rogel's fifth throw over to first base to Marv Owen. A double play hit into by Freddie Linston. Guerringer to Rogel to Owen. And so for Chicago in the last half of the fifth inning, 1 run on 2 hits, 1 man left on. Chicago leading 3-0 at the end of 5 innings. Bill Lee goes out to resume his pitching chores for the beginning of the 6th. Lee out there getting ready to work the beginning of the 6th inning. First up for Detroit will be Guerringer, followed by Goslin, and then by Fox. Lee ready to pitch now to the tough part of the order. That was certainly a close play at first base. And Linston did a little squawking the first time that a player has honestly put in a complaint with an umpire in the series. The fans take it all good naturedly. Now, first up, in the beginning of the 6th, is Charlie Guerringer. With 1 for 2 this afternoon, a single. Takes the first pitch. Lee breaks it over. Above the knees, calls strike 1. Dowling throwing that right thumb of his Skyler. 1 strike and nothing. The Guerringer, left-handed batter, certainly stick about an inch. Charlie looks at the pitch carefully, goes outside, and it's 1-1. Charlie Guerringer, one of the greatest second basemen in all baseball. A great money player, and has a brilliant eye up there at the plate. He concentrates on his work. The pitch, going to pitch it. It's called strike 2 on the inside slice, just above the knees. Bill Lee is keeping his pitches low. It's primarily a low pitcher with lots of curves. Wants to have a lot of support from his infield. Nothing in ball game because a lot of balls hit back across. Guerringer reaches out for one, hits it high. By first base, Cabrera comes in and drives everybody away. Taken by Hack, the third baseman, who despite Cabrera's warning, steps in front of him and makes the catch. About 10 feet on the first base line of pitcher's mound. Stanley Hack floating way over under that high infield pop-up by Charlie Guerringer. And that's 1 gone for Detroit in the beginning of the 6th inning. The hitter is Goose Goslin. Twice the Goose has been up today, twice he hasn't rolled. But in the 3rd inning, it wasn't his fault. He literally crowned the cover off that horse eye, but Augie Milan made a sensational leaping catch in left center field. Goslin, great veteran. Stout hard, hitting left-handed. Billy, a youngster, delivers. Goslin takes it. It's a change of pace that comes inside for ball 1. 1 ball and nothing to the Goose. Raises that back and forth energetically. The pitch. Goslin swings. It's a sharp crack. His first hit of the series. A ball through the hole between first and second. A single out into right field. Goose Goslin rams down on that one. A single out into right field. That is the 4th hit of Bill Lee. The 4th hit for Detroit this afternoon. The score is 3-0 in favor of Chicago. First half of the 6th inning, 1 out. Goslin on first, and the batter is Fox, hitting right-handed. Better than 300 hitter. Raises that back and forth. Swings on the first one. It's a sharp line drive over Cabrera's head, going to the right field corner. Goslin round second. Fox hits first. Goslin comes on down to third. Demaree chases the ball. Goslin round third, comes on in. Pink Fox comes into third and holds up as Goslin scores. Pink Fox getting the first triple of the series. Pink Fox, a sharp line drive, hit well over Cabrera's head. It went out into right field, inside the right field foul line, down into the right field corner. The ball carrying around crazily. Demaree chasing it frantically, finally getting to it, but not in time to prevent Goslin scoring all the way from first, and Fox holding up at third base, and that is the first Tiger run this afternoon off Bill Lee. A triple, and a very healthy clean one by Pete Fox. A triple into the right field corner, which scores Goose Goslin. That's the first run of Bill Lee, and the 5th hit. Now with 1 out, Fox on third base. Rogel steps up, batting left-handed at the moment. But it takes a high inside one for ball 1. Chicago infield is pulled up onto the base path, hoping for a ground hit ball as they can throw into the plate and keep Fox from scoring from third. Fox, the 12th potential second run. The score is now 3-1 favor Chicago. 1 out. Fox leads down off third. In comes the pitch, and it's outside. Harden throws down to third, and Fox is caught off, and is out. Caught it to Stanley Hack. Hartnett to Stanley Hack, and Fox takes too long a lead off third, and Gabby Hartnett's accurate right arm extinguishes him. Pete Fox is caught off third base, and of course an argument ensues with umpire Quigley, the arbiter who called that play down there. And Fox, the base runner, Fox is now walking away. and the Detroit coach back behind third base. But Pete Fox was picked off third base by Gabby Hartnett. A great throw to Stanley Hack. Hartnett to Hack. Coach Schubel, after arguing quite a bit, finally walks away, and I think that Schubel is thrown out of the ball game by umpire Quigley for protesting too vociferously down there. Schubel is sent out of the ball game by umpire Quigley. Pete Fox was on third base, took too long to lead. Gabby Hartnett threw down to Stanley Hack. Fox came sliding back in. Hack put the ball on, and Quigley called Fox out, and then Schubel started to protest, and now is walking into the Detroit dugout, vanished from behind third base by umpire Quigley. Time is still out. Umpire McGowing standing back behind home plate, allowing matters to take their course. Quigley is standing in front of third base and looks as though he's very much on the aggressive. Seems as though Schubel must have gotten Quigley's down to that, because Quigley, the veteran National League auditor, keeps looking over to the Detroit dugout, waiting no doubt for Schubel to leave the diamond entirely and the park and go back to the clubhouse. And several of the Detroit players are waving their hands at Quigley as if he's following up certain vocal barbs that they may be throwing at him. This is the first real excitement of the series as far as the players and the umpires having a run-in. That was a close play down at third base. Fox sliding back. Quigley, umpiring down to third, called Fox out for the second out of the sixth inning. And Schubel is out of the park. Now Lee is ready to work through Rogel. Miller takes the pitch, and it is called strike one. There were 2 balls on Rogel before this situation of sympathy occurred. And 2 balls, 1 strike. Rogel takes an inside one, falling back from it to keep from getting skimmed on the short ribs. And it is 3-1. 3-1 Rogel. 2 out, 1 run in for Detroit. In the top half of the 6th. Nobody on now. Rogel takes call strike 2. Looking at it. 3-2. Billy digs in, puts the end of his bat down on the plate. Rest assured there's an edge on the series now, the toss. And it is called strike 3. A curve breaking in above the knees on the outside corner. And Rogel is called out on the 3rd strike, which is the 3rd strikeout for Bill Lee. Well, in the first half of the 6th inning, after Geringer had hit an infield pop was taken by Stanley Hack, the third baseman, Goose Goslin slugged a sharp single through the hole between first and second out into right field. And then came the forward as Pete Fox tripled neatly down into the far right field corner. A line drive over Caporetto's head at first inside the right field foul line. And the ball that hopped around as though it was filled with jumping jacks out there on the right field corner every time Demaree tried to pick it up. And Fox held up at third with a triple dot and scoring. And then after 1 ball had been thrown to Rogel, in came the second ball. Gabby Hartnett calling for the pitch out, and Gabby, trusting the accuracy of his right arm, made a very dangerous save at one which was successful as far as Chicago was concerned. Suppose Hartnett had thrown that ball away, but Gabby elected to try. And he made a throw down to third base, a perfect throw to Hack. Hack put the ball on Fox sliding back in, and Fox was called out by umpire Quigley, and then Quigley had to make a second call, ejecting Detroit coach Schubel from the diamond. Now we're all set for the last half of the 6th inning. First up is Gabby Hartnett himself, the right-handed hitter. The first pitch by Auker was a fastball, streaking over waist high, called strike 1. Hartnett set. There's been a twice day, hasn't a blow. Big right-handed slugger. Looks at a high outside one. 1-1. 1-1 to Leo. Elden Auker. Ranger Camden takes the sign now from his fire manager, Mickey Cochran. The pitch. Hartnett swings, bounces it down, off the plate, and up behind the mound. Charlie Geringer comes in fast, gets it over to first base, and Hartnett is out. A very fast play by Charlie Geringer. Hartnett slammed that one down onto the hard rubber. Home plate, the ball bounded high over pitcher's mound and dropped into the grass in front of second base. But Charlie Geringer was right there on top of the play and threw Hartnett out by a couple of steps. That's 1 gone for Chicago. The Cubs leading 3-1. It's the last half of 6, nobody on. And the hitter is Demaree, who has 1 hit, a home run to his credit. Frank is right-handed, takes a wide one, 4-1. The Detroit pitchers are getting a little bit more cagey about how they're pitching to Demaree. They got the first home run of the series, and now have the last home run of the series. Greenberg has the intervening one. There's only been 3 circuit pops. Demaree almost goes for a high outside one, but lets it pass, fall through. 2 balls, no strikes to Frank Demaree. Swing bare on. It's right-handed. There's pocket through the shoulders. Auker delivers a submarine ball that rises but stays outside, and it is ball 3 for Frank. Then he steps. Auker now is faced with the necessity of getting that automatic strike registered. Around comes that right foot. The pitch is wide and low for ball 4, and on 4 straight tosses, Demaree is ushered down to first base. It's the 3rd walk in the game, and the 2nd one by Auker. He's given up 1. Now with 1 out, Demaree on first, and the young 19-year-old Major League sensation Phil Cavaretta is up. Imagine a kid at barely 19 being in the World Series. A throw goes over to first base, driving Demaree back. One put the ball on him, but not in time. Demaree was back ahead of the throw. Auker set, keeps his eye peeled over at first. Marv Owen holds the inside corner there. Demaree leads off. Cavaretta left-handed hitter waits. The pitch comes in. It's hit back to the mound. Auker takes it, plays it to second base to Rogel, and Rogel cannot make the throw to first after forcing Demaree as he is taken out of the play. Demaree sliding underneath him. Rogel coming down on top. Now Rogel takes time out for a moment to adjust his uniform pant leg underneath his left knee. Cavaretta hitting back to the box. Got on first to the fielder's choice as Auker played it back to second base, forcing Demaree. Auker to Rogel, who covered. Now the 2 go on. Cavaretta on first. The hitter is standing high. We had 1 for 2 this afternoon, a single. That's left-handed. Tilts that quite a bit. Down goes Cavaretta, attempting to steal. In comes the throw, and Cavaretta is out. Oversliding second base. Cavaretta is out, oversliding second base, and Cavaretta is arguing down there. Charlie Grimm has come out onto the infield. It seems an argument for the order of the day. Cavaretta attempting to steal was thrown out. Mike Cochran getting a lightning-like accurate throw down to second base. Ball taken by Rogel, and Cavaretta sliding in, apparently slid off a bit because umpire Moriarty down there looked as though he was going to call the play safe and then called it out. And Cavaretta came up out of the dust with every similarity between himself and a Bantam fighting rooster who is sore. Cavaretta came out of there, and he was quickly abetted by his manager, Charlie Grimm. Charlie coming from behind third base where he was coaching, out there to second. And now most of the Chicago players have gathered around second base. Most of the Chicago players have gathered around second base, and all the umpires are out there. It's sort of a mob scene around second. And it looks as though that Charlie Grimm may be vanished. Anyhow, umpire Moriarty. Yes, umpire Moriarty is waving somebody away, and it looks as though it's going to be Charlie Grimm. Perhaps Charlie Grimm is out of the game. Anyhow, that was the third out, ending the last half of the 6th inning. The third out ending the last half of the 6th inning, and the score is 3-1 in favor of the Cubs. You are receiving this broadcast of the World Series with the compliments of the Ford Motor Company. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
This is WGN Tribune Square.
So we're back at Wrigley Field, and now Bob Elson. Thank you, Red. Hello, everybody. We're going into the first half of the 7th inning. The Chicago Cubs are on the field now, and the Tigers are coming to bat, and the first baseman, Marvin Owen, is going to be the first man up. Lots of excitement out here. That was a close play at second base with Cavaretta sliding into the bag, and Geringer took Cochran's throw, which was to the second base side of the bag, seemed to make a swipe at Cavaretta as he went by, and umpire Moriarty said he got him, and he was out. There's the first pitch to Marvin Owen. It's high and outside for a ball. Nobody on and nobody out. We're starting the 7th inning. The Cubs are leading 3-1. There's a long, high fly back in right field. Demaree is going back near the fence, and he caught it right back against the fence for the first out. Marvin Owen got a hold of the ball that time and slammed it way back to the screen in right field. Demaree backed up and caught it with his back against the fence for the first out. One gone. Third baseman Clifton slammed one hard last time up. The liner into left center field, which Freddie Lindstrom caught. Right-hand hitter up at the plate. Now the pitcher's getting his sign out there again. He's ready. Next pitch is a strike right in across his knees, and the count is ball 1 and strike 1. Detroit trailing by 2 runs here in the first half of the 7th inning. The Cubs are leading 3-1. Here's a pitch from Lee. He swung at the ball, tried to stop, but it was too late. He went more than halfway around, and it's a strike. The count is ball 1 and strike 2. 1 out of nobody on in the first half of the 7th inning. Lee Clifton, the Tigers' third baseman, batting. Marvin Owen is playing first base today in place of Greenberg, who's out with an injured wrist. Next pitch is high for a ball, and the count is 2-2. Detroit is warming up a right-hander and a left-hander along the right field line. Here's the next pitch. It's into the dirt for a ball. Ball 3 and strike 2. Schoolboy roll, a right-hander, and Hodgset, a left-hander, warming up for the Tigers down in the right field bullpen. Gabby walks out in front of the plate, says something to Bill Lee. Bill turns around, walks slowly out toward the pitcher's circle. 1 out and nobody on the bases with Clifton batting. We may have a pinch hitter for Auker here if this fellow gets on. The pitch is a ball. It's outside, shoulder high. He gets a walk. Walker. Walker is going to bat for Auker. Walker for Auker. He's a utility outfielder. He bats right-handed. He's over there now in front of the Tigers dugout, which is back at first base, and over there to our right, selecting a bat. Here he comes out toward the plate. Walker will bat for Auker. Here comes the official announcement from down on the field. The Tigers are batting in the first half of the seventh inning with a man on first. Here's the announcement. Walker for Auker. Right-handed hitter, wearing number 6 in the back of his gray uniform. First pitch he swung at was right up around his shoulders. Strike one. The Cubs are warming up Tex Carlton and Charlie Root in the bullpen in left field. The Tigers are warming up Hogstead and Rowe in the bullpen in right field. He is getting the sign, watches the man on first base carefully. There's a hard hit ball toward the shortstop, and a bounce. He has it over to second base, out, back over to first base, out, a double play. Walker hit into a fast double play. Jurgis to Billy Herman to Cabaretta. The ball took a bad bounce to Jurgis, but he came up with it, got it over to second base, then over to first base, and it's a double play, retiring the side. No runs and no hits. Owen was the first man up. After he went out for the first out, Clifton drew a pass. Then Walker was put in the game to bat for Auker, and he retired the side when he hit into a fast double play, short to second to first. The game is going into the last half of the seventh inning. The score, the Chicago Cubs 3, the Detroit Tigers 1. Hogstead, a left-hander, number 17 in the back of his uniform, is coming in to pitch for the Tigers. Schoolboy Rowe is still warming up in the bullpen in right field. The total so far, the Cubs have made 3 runs, 6 hits, and 2 errors. The Tigers have made 1 run, 5 hits, and 2 errors. Charlie Grimm has been put out of the game by umpire Moriarty. Johnny Corridon is going over to coach at third, and Roy Johnson is going over to coach at first. The last half of the seventh inning is getting underway with Hogstead, a left-hander out there on the mound, whipping over a few to Cochran. And the first man to bat for the Cubs will be Stanley Hack as the game goes into the last half of the seventh inning. Tall left-hander, stands well over 6 feet tall, is out there on the mound now. Hogstead throws the rubber, gets his sign from Cochran. Here's the pitch, a slow ball, and he hits it out toward the shortstop, up with it, over to first base. He's out. Rogel to Owen. Hack went out. Rogel to Owen. It was a ground ball that hugged the ground all the way out to Billy Rogel. Now the Tigers second round out there. Bill Jurgis is coming to bat. Here's Bill up at the plate. He was safe on an error the first time up. The second time he walked and scored a run. Hogstead is ready. Here's the first pitch. It hit him in the leg. Jurgis was hit with a pitch ball. It was a slow ball, fortunately, which couldn't hurt him. And Jurgis is going down the first base line to first. Hogstead hit Jurgis with a pitch ball. Next man to come up is the pitcher, Bill Lee. The third baseman is playing in close, expecting Lee to bunt the ball. There's the pitch, and he bunts it. Down toward first base. The pitcher comes over fast, tags the runner, and he's out. It's a sacrifice, advancing Jurgis to second. Bill Lee is out on a bunt down the first baseline, which Hogstead, the pitcher, picked up just about a foot inside the first baseline. Tags the batter midway between the plate and first base. He's out. It's a sacrifice, and it advances Jurgis to second. Now the top of the batting order, Augie Galland, who's been up 3 times and has made 2 hits. He's batting right-handed now. He's a switch hitter, up right-handed against left-handed pitching. It's the sign. Here it is. It's low and inside, a ball. Ball 1. Runner on second base has a short lead off. Hogstead keeps a watchful eye on him. Here's the pitch, and it's a little bit outside. A ball, waist high, makes it ball 2. Augie Galland had 1 hit so far up until today. Now he has 3 hits in the series, with 2 today out of 3 times at bat. Next pitch is low and outside. A ball, makes it ball 3 to Galland. Very close to a right-hand hitter. It's the ball. Ball 1. Hogstead keeps an eye on the 2 runners. Getting in time, here's the next pitch. It's a strike right over the outside corner. Waist high. Makes it ball running strike one. The Cubs are leading Detroit 3-1 in the third game of the World Series, which is now in the last half of the seventh inning. Lee is pitched all the way against Auker and Hogstead. There's a curveball. He hits it choppy on the ground. The third baseman comes up with a nice pickup over to first base, and he's out. Clifton to Owen. Clifton came up with a nice pickup that time with that roller between short and third and threw him out, retiring the side. No runs and no hits. Hack was the first man up. He bounced out to the shortstop. Bill Jurgis was hit with a pitch ball. Lee sacrificed. Was thrown out at first base by the pitcher, Hogstead. Augie Galland walked. Billy Herman was thrown out by Clifton to Owen, and it retires the side. Now the game is going into the first half of the eighth inning. Cubs are out there in the field. Galland walking into left field. Winston's putting on his sunglasses. He walks into center. He has his back to the infield. Demaree is fixing his glasses out there in right field. Cub infielders are pegging the ball around. Their white uniforms. Moriarty, the second base umpire, is running over here near the Cub dugout. So he's talking to some of the Cub players down there. The players are evidently on the umpire because of that decision at second base, and Moriarty is telling them something down here. Here's Billy Jurgis, the shortstop, coming in. Several of the Cub players come out of the Cub dugout and caution Jurgis, pat him on the back, and tell him to go back to his shortstop position. Moriarty is still standing right in front of the Cub dugout, pointing, but we're behind the dugout, and we can't see who he's talking to down there. The crowd you can hear now is booing. He still has that right arm extended, and he's pointing at somebody. Johnny Corrigan, the Cub coach, is out of the Cub infield talking to Jurgis, talking to Billy Herman. The umpire at third is Ernie Quigley, and Moriarty is going back now to second base, walking between second and third, right in the baseline, walking out towards second. Just passing Jurgis now. Jurgis says something to him as he goes by. Johnny Corrigan, the Cub coach who was out there in the field, is going off the field. And the first man to bat for Detroit, he's up at the plate now. It's White. First pitch to White is in high for a ball. Nobody on and nobody out. It's the start of the eighth inning. The Cubs are leading the Tigers by a score of 3-1. Here comes the next pitch. Inside and high for a ball. Ball two. He steps out of the pitcher's circle up toward the plate, just a foot or two. Takes the return throw from Hartnett. Steps back on the rubber. He's ready for the next pitch. It's a strike. Fastball above his waist, right over the plate, and the count is ball two and strike one. He is starting his windup. Here's the next pitch. Inside, close to a left-hand hitter. Ball three, makes it 3-1 now. Will Lee go through his motion out there? He's ready. Here's the next pitch to White. Right over the plate. Strike call. Count is ball three and strike two. Hack, the third baseman, stoops over and picks up a pebble. Straightens up again. Now White steps out of the batter's box. Leans his bat up against his legs. Rubs his hands on his uniform. Takes his bat in his hands again and steps up in there. This fellow crouches over somewhat like Earl Cone, the old Grey Eagle of the New York Yankees. The pitch almost hit him. Ball four. It came in shoulder high and almost hit him. It puts White on first base. Next man to come up is Cochran. Cochran was safe on an error the first time. He walked the second time, and he was retired the third time on a great catch by Demaree in right field. And on first base, and Cochran batting, the Tigers trailing by 2 in the eighth inning. Strike one across his knees, right over the heart of the plate. Exciting ball game out here today in this third game of the World Series. And on first base has a good long lead off. Lee is ready. Here's the pitch. Right over the plate, below his shoulders. Strike two, a fastball. Cochran seemed to expect that Lee was going to waste one that time and try to make him go after a bad one when he had one strike on him. But Lee crossed him by throwing one right down the middle. And it's 2 strikes on Cochran. Runner on first base, White edging off again. Watch him now. Lee is getting ready. Here's the pitch. It's high for a ball. The count is ball one and strike two. The Cubs are warming up Root. The Cubs are warming up Carlton and Warnicki now instead of Root. Carlton and Warnicki down here in the left field bullpen. Next pitch, a little bit outside, a fastball. Count is ball 2 and strike 2. Gabby Hartnett cocked his arm that time as though he was going to throw the ball to first base when White hustled back into the bag. Gabby held the ball. Runner on first base, Cochran batting. Nobody out. First half of the 8th inning, and the Cubs leading 3-1. He is getting the sign now. Here's the pitch. Outside, just below the shoulder. It's ball 3, and the count is 3-2. Ball 3 and strike 2 is the count. Cochran steps out of the batter's box now. Gets a lot of dirt on his hands. Now he's up in there. Pitcher takes his time out there, getting ready. Here comes the next pitch. There's a high, short fly in left field. Galan is running in fast. The shortstop is going out. Jurgis is calling for it. Jurgis caught it. A high, short fly in left field. Over near the foul line. Galan came tearing in. Jurgis went running out, calling for the ball. And caught it for the first out. One gone. Next man to come up is the second baseman, Charlie Gehringer. Gehringer bounced out the first time. Single shot to right field the second time. Third time was out on an infield fly. White on first base with one gone, and Charlie Gehringer facing Lee. Bill is getting a sign from Hartnett. Here it is. He drives the liner into right field. Demaree comes in fast, can't get it. The ball bounces past him up against the fence in right field. Here's White turning around third base, and he's held up at third now, and the relay comes in from right field from Demaree to Billy Herman, and Billy Herman is running into the infield with the ball. It's a 2-base hit for Charlie Gehringer, putting the tying runs on second and third. A liner right over the first baseman's head, down the right field line. It was a 2-base hit, and it puts runners on second and third. Now the umpires are running down the right field line with that ball hit out there against the fence. Moriarty wants to be sure that that gate out there is closed. There's a gate out there through which they bring the covering they put over the infield here when it looks like rain. And the umpires run out there to examine those gates to be sure they're closed, that a ball can't bounce through them. That ball bounced right up against those gates, back off the gate into the field. Demaree got the ball back into the infield fast. Billy Herman caught the relay in short right field. The Tigers have runners on second and third in the first half of the 8th inning, and this is some ball game we're seeing here in Chicago in the third game of the World Series. Now the Cubs are holding a conference out there in front of the pitcher's mound. That was Charlie Gehringer's fourth. He has a single and a double today. Goslin is waiting to bat. Goslin came through with his first hit of the series, the last time up with a sharp single into right field. Now the umpires are satisfied that a ball cannot go between the gates in that screen out there in right field, and they're coming back in toward the infield. The Tigers have runners on second and third. There's one out, and it's the first half of the 8th inning. Goslin, the left fielder, is at bat. Billy Herman, the second baseman, is playing way back. First pitch to Goslin. He hits down the first base line and hits the bag, rolls out into right field. One runner scoring, 2 runs are scoring, and the ball game is tied up at 3-3. Goslin drove a hit down the first base line and hit the bag. Found it 5 feet in the air and then kept right on going along the first base line into right field. Demaree came in fast, grabbed the ball off the ground and threw it into the infield. 2 runs have scored, and I believe Lee is going to be taken out. The ball game is tied up at 3-3. That was a real blow that time by the Goose that tied up this ball game. Warnicki is coming in to pitch for the Cubs. Ronnie Warnicki is coming in to pitch for the Cubs, walking in slowly from left field. Bill Lee being taken out. A walk and 2 doubles this inning. In the first half of the 8th inning, it tied up the game. So far, the hits for the Tigers, 1 in the first inning, 1 in the second, 1 in the third, 1 in the 5th inning, 2 in the 6th inning, and now 2 in the 8th inning. They have made 7 hits off of Lee. Lee is going out of the game now, coming over here toward the third base line and going into the Cubs dugout, which is to our left, and getting a hand from the crowd. Warnicki is the Cubs pitcher. Goslin drove in 2 runs with that hit. A walk, a double, and a single. Goose is walking out of the, he went into the Detroit dugout there, tapped the water cooler for a few seconds while Warnke comes in and goes through his warming up process. The ball game is tied up at 3-3. The Cubs made 2 runs in the second inning, 1 run in the fifth. The Tigers made 1 in the sixth inning and now 2 in the eighth. They have a man on first base and the game is tied up at 3-3. Here's the right fielder, Pete Fox, who tripled the last time up for his first hit of this game and his fourth hit of the series. Up at the plate now with a man on first base, 1 gone, and the score tied at 3-3. Lonnie Warnke, who shut out the Tigers in the first game of the series in Detroit, 3-0, is now pitching for the Cubs. Now he's getting his sign out there. First pitch he swung at was a curveball right in around his knees. 1 strike, and what a break there was on that one. Strike 1 for Fox. He steps back out of the batter's box and dries his hands a bit, then gets up in there again. Goslin on first base. He's hit, tied up the game. Warnke has his glove off, rubbing the ball around in his hands a bit, getting some of the shine off of it, getting the feel of it. Now he's all set. Here's the pitch. Strike 2. That was a fastball. Right in around his knees over the inside corner. Pete swung and missed. 2 strikes on Fox. Warnke goes back of the pitcher's circle, picks up the rosin bag, dries his hands, steps into the circle and right up onto the rubber, and now he's kicking the dirt around down there with full feet. Takes his cap off, pulls his cap down firmly on his head again, wipes his pitching hand, his right hand across the front of his uniform. Now he's looking down at Hartnett. He has 2 strikes on Fox. Goslin on first. Here's the pitch. He hits the ground ball to deep short. Jurgis can't get it. It goes into left field for a safe hit, and Goslin goes around second base, pulls up and beats it back to second as Deland gets the ball back into the infield in a hurry. It was a hit for Fox. His 5th hit of the series. A sharp single on the ground between short and third, the deep short. Jurgis went to his right over toward third and tried to flag the ball, but couldn't stop it, and it goes into left field for a safe hit. That's a walk in 3 hits this inning. Now the next man to come up, the left-handed batter is Billy Rogel. Tigers have 2 men on the bases, runners on first and second, 1 gone. Here's Rogel up at the plate. He singled the first time, flied out the second time, and struck out the third time. First pitch is low and outside, a ball to Rogel. Tigers batting in the 8th inning. Third game of the World Series is tied up at 3-3. They have runners on first and second. Goslin on second, Fox on first. Warnke is ready. Here's the pitch. He hits a ground ball out over second base into center field for a safe hit. 1 runner scoring. Fox comes around to third base, and the Tigers are leading 4-3. 2 straight hits off of Warnke, and the Tigers are leading here in the 8th inning by a score of 4-3. That was a ground ball through the box, out over second base into center field, and the score now is 4-3. Tigers have runners on first and third with 1 gone. The next man to come up is Marvin Owen. That was a real hit that time, a sharp single right through the box. Here's Owen, who's playing first base today in place of the injured Hank Greenberg. Up at the plate, the right-handed batter. Here's the first pitch to him, and he started to swing that time, but he stopped, and it's called a ball. Ball 1. Pitch was in very high. Ball 1 for Owen. Cub infield is drawn in close here with a possible play in view at the plate. Tigers have put on a real rally here, scoring 3 runs, and they're leading now 4-3. Pitch in close at the knee for a ball. It's ball 2. The Cubs are warming up Henshaw and Carlton in the bullpen in left field. Carlton a right-hander, Henshaw a left-hander. Tigers are warming up Rowe in the bullpen in right field. Cub infield is drawn in close. The Tigers have runners on first and third. They're leading 4-3 in the first half of the 8th inning. First baseman Marvin Owen is batting for the Tigers. Warnke is pitching. Second's the runner from first on his way to second. There's the throw from Hartnett. Now they've caught him. Now they're watching the man here at third base, Fox, to see what he's going to do. Cabaretta's chasing him back. A double steal that time. They were finally Jurgis threw the ball back to Cabaretta when trying to get back and started to run to second base. Cabaretta chased him with the ball. Fox had a lead of about 15 feet off at third, and when he saw Cabaretta broke to the plate, and Cabaretta tagged Rogel, turned and threw the ball to the plate, but it was too late. Fox has scored, and the Tigers are leading 5-3. The count on Marvin Owen is now 3-1. That pitch was high and outside. Detroit in front. 5-3 now in the first half of the 8th inning. There's a line drive into the first baseman's hands, right off his shoe top, and it retires aside. Well, that was a great rally. Detroit came through with 4 runs. Started with a walk to White. Then a double right down the right field line over the first baseman's head against the right field screen by Gehringer. And a single by Goslin. And a single in the left field by Fox. Then with the double steal underway, the man on first base was finally caught going to second base, but Fox scored from third when Cavalier stole into the plate. It was too late to get him for the 4th run of the inning. And the Tigers are leading now by a score of 5-3 as the game goes into the last half of the 8th. The Tigers made 4 runs. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 hits. There was also a walk. The hits were credited to Gehringer, Goslin, Fox, and Rogel. Schoolboy Rowe is coming into pitch now. Rowe is coming into pitch for the Tigers in the last half of the 8th inning, with Detroit leading by a score of 5-3. Cubs made 2 runs in the 2nd inning and 1 run in the 5th. Tigers made 1 run in the 6th inning and 4 runs in the 8th. Cubs have used 2 pitchers, Lee and Warneke. There were 2 hits off of Warneke, 1 by Fox and 1 by Rogel. The walk was issued by Lee. Gehringer doubled off of Lee, and Goslin singled off of Lee, driving in the 2 runs which tied the score. Now the game is going into the last half of the 8th inning. The Tigers are out there in the field. White in center field, Fox in right field, Goslin left field, Hooked in third, Rogel short, Gehringer second, and Marvin Owen first. Schoolboy Rowe, who was defeated by Warneke in the first game of the World Series, is doing the pitching. Within a few days after the World Series, the new Ford, the 1936, will be introduced and will be on display at Ford dealers everywhere. Mickey Cochran is talking to Schoolboy Rowe between the plate and the pitcher's box. This is the 3rd game of the World Series, with each team having 1 victory. The Tigers are in the lead now as we start the last half of the 8th inning, 5-3. Rowe is now going back to talk to Gehringer, the second baseman of the Tigers. Cochran is back behind the plate, and Lindstrom is waiting to bat. Here's Fred up at the plate. Fred has made 1 hit today. Cubs are trailing by 2 runs in the last half of the 8th inning. Rowe takes a look around at the scoreboard. Dumps the ball in his glove a couple of times. Now he's getting ready. A tall right-hander. Here's the pitch to Lindstrom. Fastball inside at the shoulder. Ball 1. Nobody on and nobody out. The last half of the 8th is just getting started. Rowe is getting a sign. Here's the next pitch. Strike across his knees over the outside corner. It's called. Ball 1, strike 1. Now the umpire, Bill McGowan, wants to see the ball. Cubs are still warming up the left-hander, Henshaw. Schoolboy Rowe turns around, looks around the infield and the outfield, takes a look at the scoreboard in center field. Now he's turning around again to face the batter. Center fielder Lindstrom is up. He's ready. Here's the pitch. Lindstrom hits a foul down the right field line into the boxes, and the count is ball 1 and strike 2. Another new ball is tossed out to Rowe. Lindstrom singled the first time. Second time he bounced out. And the third time he hit into a fast double play, second to short to third. Facing Rowe now is the first man up in the last half of the 8th. Lindstrom hits a high, short fly in left field near the foul line. Goslin's coming over fast. Shortstop is chasing the ball, and Goslin catches the ball after a long run. Just a foot inside the foul line in fair territory in short left field for the first out. Goslin made a long run for that ball. Now the next man to come up is Hartnett. Here's Gabby up at the plate. Gabby hits a long fly ball into center field. The center fielder White is going back. He's under it, and he has it for the second out. Hartnett is a long fly ball into deep center field. White caught it for the second out. 2 gone. Next man to come up is Demaree. Frank Demaree is up at the plate now. Frank has 1 hit today, a home run in the 2nd inning. flied out on the fourth, and he walked in the sixth. Rowe is getting his sign. First pitch is a fastball across his knees. One strike. Detroit leading 5-3 in the last half of the eighth. They scored 4 runs in the first half of this inning. Now he's getting his sign out there again. He's ready. Here's the next pitch. A little bit outside, a slow ball at the shoulder. The count is 4-1 and strike one for Demaree. Rowe wipes his face. Gets ready out there now. Goes through his motion. Here comes the next pitch to Demaree. Frank swung at a fastball right around his knees and missed it, and the count is 4-1 and strike two. Frank Demaree batting with 2 out and nobody on the bases in the last half of the eighth. Schoolboy Rowe is ready. Here's the pitch. Fastball. He swung at the ball and missed it and retired the side. Demaree swung at a fastball around his knees and missed it, and it retires the side. At the end of the eighth inning, Cubs no runs and no hits. The first man up, Lindstrom, fly to Goslin close to the foul line in short left field. Hartnett sent a long fly ball to JoJo White in deep center field. Demaree struck out. He went down swinging. No runs and no hits. Now the game is going into the first half of the ninth inning with the Cubs going on the field. Remember the fourth game of the World Series tomorrow. Larry French is going to pitch for the Cubs, and I believe that Crowder will start for the Tigers. The fourth game of the World Series in Chicago tomorrow with Larry French, the southpaw, going for the Cubs, and Crowder, a right-hander, the probable starter for Detroit. Tigers are coming to bat now in the ninth inning. First man to come up will be Clifton, who's played third today. He's been up 3 times. He bounced out, he lined one into left center, and he walked. Gives him 2 official times at bat. Clifton's up at the plate, a right-handed hitter. Nobody on and nobody out. Start of the ninth inning with the Tigers leading 5-3. The first pitch is low. Ball 1. Warnicki toes the rubber out there, gets all set again. Cubs around the infield shout words of encouragement to him. Pitches in close. It's right around his knees and close to a right-hand batter. It's ball 2 now for Clifton. Buddy out there, here's the pitch. Fastball right around his knees. It's a called strike. Clifton turned around, looked at the umpire as though he didn't agree with him. Ball 2 and strike 1. It's row number 24 in the back of his gray uniform. Here's the next pitch. Right around his knees. It's a called strike. Clifton turned around, looked at the umpire as though he didn't agree with him. Ball 2 and strike 1. It's row number 24 in the back of his gray uniform. Here's the next pitch. He swung and he missed. Retiring. He fell down. He swung so hard. Retiring Clifton for the first out. Clifton struck out. It brings up the pitcher. Rowe. Here he comes up. Here's Rowe coming up to the plate. He's a good hitter for a pitcher. Stepping around to the left side, he bats right-handed. Rowe takes his bat, and with the handle of the bat, knocks the dirt off the spikes on his shoes. He wears number 14. Here's Rowe up at the plate. Warnicki's waiting for him to get set in there. Bonnie is all set. Here's the pitch. Right over the heart of the plate, waist high, a called strike on Rowe. Detroit leading 5-3 in the first half of the ninth inning. Warnicki's ready out there again. Here's the next pitch. It's a fastball, which is outside at the knee. The count is ball 1 and strike 1. 1-1. Warnicki takes his time, gets a sign from Gabby. Now he's ready out there. Here's the next pitch to Rowe. It's a fastball right over the plate. Called strike, and the count is 1-2. Warnicki takes his glove off now. Takes the ball in his hand, rubs it around a bit. Now he's getting set. Here comes the next pitch to Rowe. It's a fastball, which is low and outside. A ball, and the count is 2-2. Stanley Hack at third, Jurgis at short, Billy Herman at second, Cabaret at first. Boys all watching the batter intently. Warnicki's going through his motion. He's ready out there now. Here's the pitch. It's a slow ball, and he hits it down to Hack. Hack gets the ball on a big bounce over to first base, and Rowe is out. Hack to Cabaret. 2 gone. Now the top of the batting order with White coming up again. White struck out the first time, bounced out the second time, singled to center field the third time, and the fourth time drew a pass. scored the first of the 4 runs the Tigers made in the 8th. Here he is up at the plate, a left-handed batter facing Warnicki. First pitch is outside at the shoulder, a ball. Ball 1. It's the 9th inning of the 3rd game of the World Series, with the Tigers leading here in Chicago 5-3. Warnicki's winding up again. Here's the next pitch. It's low and outside, a ball. Makes it ball 2 now for White. Warnicki has his glove off, rubs the ball around in his hands a bit. Now he's taking time, so White steps out of the batter's box and gets a bit of dirt on his hands, and turns around and steps up in there. Warnicki's ready to pitch to him. Here it is. It's right across his knees, a called strike. He was sort of running the count that time. He held his bat and just lifted the ball as it came in. The count is ball 2 and strike 1. Warnicki's ready. Here's the next pitch. He swung at a fastball, which was right around his knees. He went all the way around trying to give that ball a ride, and the count is 2-2 on White. White stands there, taps the bat on the plate. Warnicki's getting ready. Here comes the next pitch. It's inside, close to a left-hand hitter, right around his waist. White jumped back from that fast one. The count is ball 3 and strike 2. Nobody on the bases and 2 out. Next man due up is Mickey Cochran. He rubs the ball around in his hands out there. It's all set now. Now he's winding up. Here comes the next pitch. And he swung and he missed, retiring the side. White struck out. A fastball right around his waist, and it retires the side. No runs and no hits. Now the game is going into the last half of the 9th inning. In the first half of the 9th inning, Clifton struck out. Will was thrown out by Hack. Hack to Cabaretta. Then White struck out, went down swinging to retire the side. No runs and no hits. Now we're going into the last half of the 9th inning of this 3rd game of the World Series in Chicago, with the Cubs, the home team, coming to bat, trailing by 2 runs. The Tigers are leading by a score of 5-3. Detroit has used 3 pitchers today: Elden Auker, Hogstep, and Rowe. The Cubs have used 2 pitchers, Bill Lee and Warnicki. Tigers are out there now in their gray uniforms, taking the ball around. Cabaretta is standing off there to the right of the plate. Left-handed batter. Still hasn't made a hit today. In fact, Still has yet to make his first hit in the series. That's left-handed. Now he'll be facing Schoolboy Rowe. Here's a left-hand hitter up at the plate. Pitcher's getting ready out there. Now the wind-up and the pitch. Cabaretta hits a high fly into right center field. The center fielder White is going back near the screen. Back, and he caught it right back against the screen. In right center, a nice running catch to retire Cabaretta for the first out. Cabaretta got under one of Rowe's fastballs and drove it high into the air, way back in right center field. White raced over, and right near the sign where it's marked 356 feet, he caught it to retire Phil for the first out. Now the next man to come up is Stanley Hack. Here's Hack up at the plate. He has 1 hit today. First pitch is right over the plate, a called strike. Knee high. Strike 1. Getting ready out there again. Here comes the next pitch. And he drives one, a line drive in the center field, a safe hit for Hack. Hack drove one right out over second base in the center field for a safe hit. It brings up Jurgis. Hack's second hit of the game. It was a liner right over the pitcher's head in the center field. The shortstop ran over behind second, jumped into the air with his left hand and tried to flag it. The ball was going too high. Somebody's going to bat for Jurgis. The man on first base. There's a batter coming out to hit for Jurgis. Chuck Klein is going to bat for Jurgis with a man on first base, and 1 gone here in the 9th inning. Charlie Grimm and Del Baker were put out of the game today. Schubel had been coaching at first base for the first couple of innings, and I thought it was Schubel coaching there when the man was put out, and I tipped Red here that it was Schubel. When he took his sweater off, we saw it was Del Baker. So Charlie Grimm and Baker were both put out of the game today. Here's Klein coming up. Chuck Klein gets a hand from the crowd. Now, of course, all the Cubs partisans hope that Chuck will aim for that right field fence. The man on first, and the Cubs are trailing by 2 runs here in the last half of the 9th inning. Schoolboy Rowe out there on the mound, and the first pitch was a fastball right over the heart of the plate. This is a tense moment here in the 3rd game of the World Series in Chicago. The Cubs have a man on first base, and Chuck Klein is batting in place of Bill Jurgen. He's a left-handed hitter. Rowe is getting ready now. Here comes the next pitch. It's a slow ball, and he hits one to left field. A safe hit between the shortstop and the third baseman on the ground into left field. Chuck Klein drove one into left field on the ground for a safe hit. That's another hit off a row, and the Cubs have runners on first and second. Now O'Day is coming up to bat for the pitcher. Ken O'Day will bat for the pitcher. This is some game we're seeing today in Chicago in this 3rd World Series game. All the thrills that you asked for in a ball game. The Tigers are leading 5-3 in the 9th inning. Well, there's lots of noise. I imagine you can hear it. 50,000 people are howling here in Wrigley Field in Chicago in this 3rd World Series game. The Cubs get 2 hits off a row in the 9th inning. First pitch to O'Day is a fastball right in the toss of his knee for a strike. Strike one. Now Rowe is pitching to O'Day. There's a liner in right field. The right fielder comes in fast, can't get it. Here's the run scoring. The runner from first base, Klein, is racing around to third. He flies in, and he's safe at third. The Cubs have runners on first and third. The score is 5-4 in favor of Detroit. O'Day caught a hold of Rowe's fastball shoulder high and slammed it into right field for a safe hit. The right fielder Fox came in fast, caught the ball in the second bounce, saw the runner scoring. Third made a long throw from right field over to third base to try to head off Chuck Klein, who was carrying the flying run around the third base. But the ball bounced twice before it got to the third baseman, and Klein slid in under the throw. The Cubs have runners on first and third. The Tigers are leading 5-4 in the 9th inning of this World Series game in Chicago, and the next man to come up is Augie Goslin, the left fielder. It's 5-4 now, with the Detroit infield playing in close. There's only 1 out, and a hit or a long fly that tie the game. Oh, the noise here now. Everybody's standing. Nobody's seated anymore. There's too much excitement out here. Rowe is getting ready to pitch to Goslin, and he hits a high foul, which is going over near the railing. The crowd standing up. Cochran comes over. He can't get it. It goes into the stand. Foul, strike one. Now a new ball is tossed into the game, and the Tigers take it around. Flipped into Rogel to Geringer to Marvin Owen, who's playing first base today. Gee, what a moment this is in this World Series. Here's Augie Goslin up at the plate. Augie singled in the first inning. He singled in the 5th inning. He walked in the 7th. He's batting with Klein on third and O'Day on first. The infield drawn in close. The pitch was almost a wild pitch. Cochran had to go way out to his left. Put up his left hand and caught that ball in his glove to prevent a wild pitch. A man on first and a man on third with the Detroit infield drawn in close. Schoolboy Rowe pitching to Augie Goslin, a left-handed hitter. Tigers drawn in to the edge of the grass. Schoolboy Rowe is ready. The next pitch, he hits a long fly ball way out in center field. The tying run was scored. Surely here from third. Here's Klein coming into the plate. The ball game is tied up at 5-5. Augie Goslin drove a fastball way out into center field, and now Wrigley Field is being showered with scorecards, newspapers, and everything in the world. Out there in right field, they're standing and they're waving newspapers and scorecards as the Chicago Cubs have put on a great rally here in the 9th inning, the last half of the 9th inning, to tie it up at 5-5. They still have a man on first base with 2 gone. 2 runs in, and the next man to come up is Billy Herman. Plenty of thrills here. Now Schoolboy Rowe is ready to pitch to Billy Herman. First pitch, he hits a foul, which is going back to the right and into the boxes. Cochran comes back to see that he can't get it. Mickey puts his cap on and starts back to the plate. This started out with a single by Hack, a single by Klein, a single by O'Day, and a long fly ball into deep center field by Augie Goslin. The ball game is tied up at 5-5 in the last half of the 9th inning. Rowe is getting ready to pitch now to Billy Herman. Slow ball. It's been a little bit high. The count is ball 1, strike 1. Billy Herman has been up 4 times today. He's made one hit. Right-handed batter. Runner on first base has a short lead off. Billy started to swing, tried to stop, but it was too late, and it's a strike. The count is ball 1 and strike 2. Ball game tied up at 5-5 in the last half of the 9th inning in the 3rd game of the World Series. Schoolboy Rowe wipes his face out there. Keeps an eye on the runner on first base over his shoulder. Now he's ready to pitch again to Billy Herman. Takes his time out there. Here it is. It's low and outside the ball. Cochran has to go out to the right for it. Johnny Corrigan, the Cub coach at third, is clapping his hands and walking up and down here at third. Tigers are playing in close. Gee, it's been a great and thrilling game here today. No matter who wins it, they've had all the excitement they want. Pitcher's getting ready now. Here it is. Billy Herman hits the ground ball down toward Clifton at third. Up with it, over to first base, and he's out. Clifton to Owen to retire the side. One man is left on the bases. The Cubs made 2 runs, 1, 2, 3 hits, and there were no errors. Mack singled to start after 1 out. Cabaretta flied out. Mack singled. Then Klein batted for Jurgis, who singled to left field. Then O'Day batted and drove a hit down the right field line, scoring 1 run, making it 5-4. And then with runners on first and third, Galan hit a long fly ball into center field to tie up the ball game when Klein scored from third base after the catch. It's 5-5. There's still a man on first base when Billy Herman bounces out. Clifton to the first baseman, Marvin Owen. At the end of 9 innings in the 3rd game of the World Series in Chicago, the Detroit Tigers 5, the Chicago Cubs 5. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System. Now the game is going into the first half of the 10th inning. You're receiving this broadcast of the World Series with the compliments of the Ford Motor Company. The game is going into the first half of the 10th inning with the Cubs out there in the field. Here's another pitcher in, Larry French, a left-hander. Larry French is out there on the mound now, whipping over a few to the catcher. Klein is playing in right field. Let's get the rest of these changes. They haven't been announced yet. The umpire is down here talking to the announcer on the field, Pat Piper. Billy Herman is still playing second. English. Lindstrom is going to play third. Pack is going to play short. Billy Herman is going to play second. Cabaretta's at first. Klein is in right field. Demaree is in center field. Galan is still in left field. Hartnett is catching, and French is pitching. Now, there are the changes. Cabaretta's first. Billy Herman second. Pack is playing short. Lindstrom is playing third. Klein is playing right field. Demaree is playing center field. Galan is in left field. Hartnett is the catcher, and French the pitcher. There you have the changes in the lineup now as we start the 10th inning. The first man to bat for Detroit in the 10th inning with the ball game tied up at 5-5 is Mickey Cochran, the great leader of the Tigers, and a left-handed batter. First pitch is in close to Mickey and backs him away. It's ball 1. Cochran was safe the first time, walked the second time, flied out the third time, and flied out the fourth time. And up 4 times today. The next pitch he hits a foul. Back into the upper deck off there to the right. The count is ball 1 and strike 1. Although he's getting his time. Goes to his motion out there. Here's the pitch. Curve. The count is ball 2 and strike 1. Nobody on the bases. Nobody out. It's the 10th inning with the Tigers batting. Edwin Lindstrom playing in at third base. Here's the next pitch. He hits a high fly, an infield fly to Lindstrom, who's standing just outside the bag in foul territory, and takes the ball for the first out. It was pretty hard to see at first where that ball was coming down because it went up so high, but it was up higher than the second deck of the grandstand, which is right above us here. And finally in the ball we could see by where Lindstrom was standing where the ball was coming down. It came down outside the bag, a high fly foul just outside the base at third base, and Lindstrom caught it for the first out. Now the next man to come up is Geringer. 1 gone in the 10th inning. Geringer has 2 hits today, a single and a double. Larry French is ready to pitch to him. The windup here it is, and it's a strike. Right over the heart of the plate, and the count is ball 1 and strike 1. Larry French plays in that fastball of his that time. He's mixing up the fastball with the curve 20 out there right now. Now he starts to wind up again, goes through his motion. Here's the next pitch to Charlie. Curve ball, and he hits a long fly ball. Way back in right field. It's going, time is right over the foul line and caught it. Right on the foul line. The umpire says that the ball was outside the line, and he caught it just about a half a foot foul. The umpire at first base ran down the right field line and motioned when time caught the ball, but the ball had been caught in foul territory. So Geringer sent a foul fly to Klein. way down the right field line, and there's two gone now, and the next man to come up is Goslin. It was Goslin, you know, who drove in the tying runs in this ball game for Detroit. And the Cubs were leading 3-1. Goose has had a good day today with 2 hits. Now Larry Finch is ready to pitch to him. 2 out and nobody on. There's a low curve right over the outside corner and right at the shoulder. The strike is called. Lindstrom, the third baseman, is playing in close. Billy Herman, the second baseman, is playing back on the edge of the grass. Billy plays back a little bit farther than second baseman usually do. He shifts all around to the batters. There's a curveball with a big hook on it, but it broke in too low. He stepped out of the batter's box. The count is ball 1 and strike 1. Finch takes his glove off, rubs the ball around in his hand. The Cubs are warming up a pitcher in the bullpen left field, Charlie Root. Finch is ready now. Here's the next one. Curveball, and he fouls it into the box seats right over near the Detroit dugout. The count is ball 1 and strike 2. Goslin is gray uniform, stepped out of the batter's box. The umpire behind the plate wants to move supply of baseballs now. Motions to the gent down in the field to take care of the baseballs that he wants to move them. Larry Finch is towing the rubber. There's 2 out and nobody on in the first half of the 10th inning. Finch goes through his motion. He's ready for the pitch. There's a line drive right over Billy Herman's head into right center field. A safe hit for Goslin. He's trying for second base. Here's the throw. He flies in and he's safe at second. Goslin struck the Cub outfield by surprise that time when he drove a liner into right center field. The right fielder Klein and the center fielder Demaree both came over for the ball. Finally, Demaree picked up the ball and threw it in, and the Goose kept right on going and slid into second base safely. It's a 2-bagger for Goslin, and the next man to come up is Fox. Fox also has had a good day with a 3-bagger and a single. That's Goslin's third hit. Now Larry Finch is ready to pitch to Pete Fox. Man on second base and 2 gone in the first half of the 10th. There's a fly ball down the right field line. The first baseman is chasing it. He caught it. A foul fly down the first baseline. Cabrera ran down the foul line and then out a little bit to his right and caught it. And the boys in the boxes are leaning over the railing down there and waving their scorecards, and they'll have to sue Cabrera as he caught that ball to retire the side, and Goslin is left on the base. No runs and 1 hit. In the first half of the 10th inning, Cochran hit a high foul fly. Just outside the bag at third base to Lindstrom. Charlie Gehringer sent a long fly ball right down the right field line, just in front of the flagpole. Chuck Klein came hustling over and caught the ball while standing on the line and leaning over it for the second out. Then Goslin drove a hard liner right over the second baseman's head into right center, slowed down at first base, and the outfielder thought he was going to be content with a single, and then he stepped on the gas and streaked for second base and slid in ahead of the throw. It was a 2-bagger. Then with the man in the scoring position, Fox hit a high foul, a short distance down the right field line. Cabrera to the first baseman raced down the line and caught it and retired the side. No runs and 1 hit. Now we're going into the last half of the 10th inning with the ball game tied up at 5-5 in this third game of the World Series in Chicago, and Lindstrom is coming to bat. Schoolboy Rowe is out there on the mound. He's the third Tiger pitcher today. Each team has used 3 pitchers. Now Rowe is ready. He drives one way out in right center field. The center fielder is going over. He can't get it. The ball is hitting the fence out there in right center field. Lindstrom is coming into second base, and he stopped. It's a 2-base hit. Lindstrom hit the first ball pitch. A line drive way out in right center field. The center fielder White cut over. Fox was running over chasing the ball. White took the ball on the rebound off the fence, got it back into the infield in a hurry, and Lindstrom has a 2-bagger to his credit. A long hit into right center field. It's a 2-bagger for Lindstrom starting the last half of the 10th. Now the next man to come up is Hartnett. Ball game is tied up at 5-5 in the last half of the 10th inning. Here's Gabby up. Gabby's been up 4 times today without a hit. Right infield is playing a little bit close. Billy Rogel, the shortstop, is still holding the ball. He walks into McGrath, says something to Rowe, and throws him the ball. Third baseman Kristen is playing in close. The outfield is playing in regular position. Goslin, White, and the right fielder Pete Fox. Hartnett is up with a teammate on second. He attempted to bunt the first pitch and missed the ball completely for a strike. The pitch was a fastball, low and outside. Shortstop, Rogel is playing over near second base to keep Lindstrom just as close to that bag as he possibly can. Remember, he's carrying the winning run here in the last half of the 10th. Lowe is getting ready. Here's the next pitch to Hartnett. It's low, a fastball, and the count is ball 1 and strike 1. He takes his time out there, gets ready. Tigers, put on a great rally in the 8th inning. Tie and go into the lead, and then the Cubs came through with a nice rally in the last half of the ninth. Here's Hartnett up now, the pitch. He bunts one right down the first base line. Cochran's chasing it, picks it up, gets it over to first base. Out. It's a sacrifice, advancing the runner to third. Gabby laid down a beautiful bunt, which rolled about 25 feet down the first base line and stayed just 2 feet inside the line. The pitcher came over, but Cochran hollered for him to get away. Mickey chased the ball, picked it up at third to first base. And it was out at first, a sacrifice, advancing Lindstrom to third with the winning run, where he's in a position to score either on a hit or a long fly. This third game of the World Series is tied up here in the last half of the 10th inning. At 5 and 5, the Detroit infield is drawn in close, and now Frank Demaree, the right fielder, is coming to bat. Frank has one hit today, a home run. Now Lowe is ready as the pitch. Demaree swung with a curveball around his waist and missed it. 1 strike. This third game of the series is in extra innings. We're in the last half of the 10th inning with Lindstrom on third base. Schoolboy Rose getting ready. Here's the next pitch. He swung at a fastball right around his knees and missed it. 2 strikes. Rowe is bearing down out there for all he's worth, trying to prevent this run from coming in here from third. Frank Demaree hit a ground ball to the shortstop, Billy Rogel, who fumbled it, grabbed the ball, retired the batter, and Lindstrom is forced to hold third. There's 2 out of the man on third. The next man to come up is Cavaretta. Cavaretta's been up 4 times without a hit. Facing Rowe now with the man on third base and 2 gone. First pitch, he hit the ground ball to the second baseman, up with it, over to first base, and he's out, and it retires the tag. Lindstrom is left on third. At the end of the 10th inning, Schoolboy Rose did plenty of bearing down there. Retired the side after the first man to back to the Cubs led off with a 2-base hit. Lindstrom doubled to right center field to start the last half of the 10th inning. Gabby Hartnett sacrificed with a little bunt on the first base line and was thrown out by Cochran. Frank Demaree hit a ground ball to the shortstop and was thrown out. Rogel to Owen. Then Cavaretta with a man on third base and 2 gone hit a ground ball back at Geringer and was thrown out. Geringer to Owen. No runs and 1 hit. The game is going into the first half of the 11th inning, with the score still tied up at 5 and 5 in this third game of the World Series. Larry French is now pitching for the Cubs, and Schoolboy Rose is pitching for the Tigers. And Rose did some magnificent pitching there in that last half of the 10th inning to keep that winning run from crossing the plate. Cubs are out there in the field. Remember the changes we have now in the Cub battlefront, and that the outfielder Lindstrom is now playing third. Of course, Freddie is the third baseman too. Played third for many years with John McGraw and the New York Giants. Came to the Pirates in the deal as the third baseman when he shifted to the outfield, and he's played third base several times for the Cubs this year. The first man to bat for the Tigers is up at the plate. It's Rogel. He's a switch hitter, and he's batting right-handed now against Larry French at southpaw. The first pitch is shoulder high and outside for the ball. Nobody on and nobody out in the first half of the 11th. French is getting a sign out there. He's ready now. Here's the pitch. It's a strike right in across his knees. It's called. Ball 1 and strike 1. Cubs are still warming up Charlie Wood in the bullpen in left field. Larry French gets his sign. Here's the next pitch. He swung at a slow curve that was high and outside, and the count is ball 1 and strike 2 for Rogel. Tigers are batting in the first half of the 11th inning. A great ball game today in the third World Series game. French is getting ready now. Here's the next pitch. It's a curveball, and he hits the liner. Foul by a foot down the third base line. Rogel hit that one right down the third base line, and it hit foul a short distance down the line. Foul by a foot. Let's get a new ball and take it around, and then back to Larry French. Gabby Hartnett shoots that fist up into the air, sets the boys up a bit. French is standing there on the rubber, watching Rogel. He gets into the batter's box again with a count on him of 1 and 2. Here it is. He drives a ground ball past the shortstop to the shortstop's left into left center field. It's a safe hit. The ball was hit sharply between the shortstop and the bag, right past Pack into left center field. It's a safe hit for Rogel to start the 11th inning. Now the next man to come up is the first baseman, Marvin Owens. He makes a sacrifice here. Winston is expecting it and is playing in. Hack is playing short. Billy Herman second. He dumps one down the third baseline. Winston picks it up, gets it over to second, and it's out of second. The sacrifice did not work. Instead, it's turned into a force play. And Owen bumps the ball down the third baseline about a foot inside the line and fronted it sharply so it rolled hurriedly down to Winston, who picked it up and shot the ball back to second base to Hack, who covered, and it's out at second base. So it's a force out at second. Leaves the runner on first base for the Tigers and brings up the third baseman, Clifton. Man on first, one out, and Clifton comes to bat. Clifton's been up 4 times today without a hit.
French is getting ready to pitch to him now. First pitch to Winston. Winston can't hold the ball. Winston couldn't hold the ball. He tried to grab it on a short hop, and the ball got away from him. And there are runners on first and second for Detroit. Next man to come up is the pitcher, Schoolboy Rowe. We're in a bad spot here to see the official score, to see what they're calling that. It's an error for Lindstrom. It's an error. Puts runners on first and second for the Tigers and brings up Rowe. That was a ground ball to Lindstrom's left, to the shortstop side of the third baseman. But he fumbled it, and it puts runners on first and second. Owen is on second, Clifton is on first, Rowe is batting. First pitch was a curveball, shoulder high. He swung at the ball and missed it. 1 strike. Detroit batting in the first half of the 11th inning, and the ball game tied up. 5-5. Larry French is now opposing Rowe. Rowe is at bat with 2 men on. French is getting ready. Here's the next pitch. He swung at a slow curve right below his shoulders and missed it. Strike 2. 2 strikes now on Rowe. Steps out of the batter's box, dries his hands a bit, and gets up in there again. Larry French blows on his pitching hand. Stands there on the rubber, draws his arms up over his head, drops him down in front of him. He's ready. Here's the pitch. Curveball. He struck out. That was a curveball that broke outside at the knee. Schoolboy Rowe went out for it and missed it and struck out. Rowe throws his bat high into the air, and it lands over there near the Detroit dugout. Now the top of the batting order with the center fielder White up at the plate. Batting left-handed. White has been up 5 times. He has a hit and a walk to his credit. Batting now with 2 men on for the Tigers and 2 gone in the first half of the 11th. Pitch is right over. A beautiful curveball that broke right in there. White took a look at the ball and didn't like it, but it broke sharply right over the plate for a called strike. Jojo grabs the peak of his cap several times, pulling his cap firmly on his head. Now takes his position there at the plate, holding that bat out in front of him. French is getting his sign again. Here's the pitch. There's a curve that breaks very low and very far outside a ball, and the count is 1-1. 1-1 for White. Batting for Detroit in the 11th inning with 2 out and 2 men on the bases, and the score tied at 5-5. The third game of the World Series in Chicago. And what a crowd there is here today, and what a game. Larry French is getting his sign. Here's the next pitch. He swung that time with another curveball right around his knees, and he missed it, and the count is 4-1 and strike 2. White really went around on that one, trying to get that ball a ride, but he missed it, and the count is 1-2. Now he taps his bat on the plate. He's watching Larry French. French again raises his left hand, his pitching hand, and blows onto the bit. Now he draws his arms up in front of him, drops him down. He's ready now. 2 men on, 2 out. Pitch is high and inside. Forces White right out of the batter's box to get away from the pitch that came in very close to him. And the count is 2-2. Ball 2 and strike 2. French stands there on the rubber, takes a look back at Marvin Owen on second. Clifton on first base for Detroit. 2-2 count on the batter. He hits one right out over second base in the center field. A safe hit. The center fielder comes in fast, takes the ball, throws it into the plate, but the run scores. The ball gets away from Hartnett, and the Tigers have runners on second and third. Detroit is leading now by a score of 6-5. White drove a hit right over second base in the center field. It scored Marvin Owen. It sent Clifton around to third, and on the throw to the plate, the batter, White, went to second. He gets credit for a single. He went to second on the throw to the plate. The Tigers are leading now by a score of 6-5. They have runners on second and third. Next man to come up is Cochran. It's the first half of the 11th inning. Detroit leading the Cubs 6-5. Second hit of the day. Now French is ready to pitch to Cochran. Detroit made 1 run, 2 hits, and there was 1 error. 1 run and 2 hits. Gabriel led off with a hit. He was forced at second base when Owen tried to sacrifice. Then Clifton was safe on an error by Lindstrom.
hitting runners on first and second. Then Rowe batted and struck out, swinging the 3-pitch balls. Then White drove a hit out over second base into center field, which scored Owen and put Detroit into the lead 6-5. Cochran hit the first ball pitched and fouled to Hartnett to the left of the plate, and it retires the side. Detroit made 1 run and 2 hits. The hits were by Rogel and White. Now the game is going into the last half of the 11th inning with the score 6-5 in favor of the Tigers. First man back for the Cubs will be Stanley Hack. Hack started the rally, in the 9th inning with a single. Coming to bat now in the last half of the 11th inning with the score 6-5 in favor of the Tigers. Schoolboy Rowe up there on the mound. Tigers take the ball around for the last time. Cochran tries the line, whips the ball down to second base to Geringer. Geringer throws the ball back to Rowe. And now the last half of the 11th inning of this third World Series game is getting underway. Cubs in the meantime are warming up 2 pitchers, Root and Henshaw. Now Rowe is ready to pitch to Hack. First pitch is a strike, a fastball right around his knees. Strike 1. Cochran throws that ball back hard to Rowe. He's getting ready again. Here comes the next one to Hack. Fastball, he hit the grounder to the third baseman. Clifton's up with it over to first base, and he's out. Hits into Owen. 1 gone. Here's Klein coming up now. Chuck Klein coming to bat. He's been in right field for the last 2 innings. Left-handed batter. Here's the windup and the pitch to Klein. Fastball. He fouled it off of Mickey Cochran's chest protector. 1 strike. Chuck Klein is batting in the last half of the 11th inning. 1 out and nobody on the bases, and the score is 6-5 in favor of the Tigers. Joe shovels the ball in his pitching hand for a few seconds, then gets ready. Klein swung at the ball that time and fouled it. Right back at the plate on the ground. Cochran shakes his head, walks out in front of the plate, and throws the ball back to Rowe. Then turns around and comes back behind the plate again. It's 2 strikes on Klein. The umpire at third base takes a look at the ball now to see that it's okay, and throws it back to Rowe. Chuck Klein, right fielder, is batting for the Cubs in the last half of the 11th inning. Rowe takes his time out there, gets ready again. Starts his wind-up. Here's the pitch. Klein hits the ground ball, fouled on the first base line. Owen comes over the line, picks up the ball in his left hand, takes it down to Cochran, and now Cochran throws the ball back to Rowe. It's the next winning game in this third World Series game. We're in the last half of the 11th inning. Cubs 1 out. Chuck Klein batting, and the Tigers leading 6-5. And just about as thrilling a ball game as you'd ever hope to see. Which is getting ready now. Here comes the next one to Klein. Klein swings and fouls it back of the plate into the net. And the count is still 2 strikes. Klein steps out of the batter's box, dries his hands a bit, and then gets up in there again. Rowe stumps the ball and moves grab a couple of times. Standing there in the rubber looking down at Cochran. Now he wipes his pitching hand in the front of his uniform. Gets ready out there, and here it is. It's high and very far outside, a ball. Ball 1 to Klein. Makes the count 1-2. Klein steps back in the batter's box. Taps his bat on the plate. Brings that bat around in front of him a couple of times. Rowe is going through his motion now. He's ready. Here's the pitch. He drives one foul by about 5 feet. Klein hits one foul down the first base line on the ground. The count is ball 1 and strike 2. Another ball is thrown out to Rowe. Dumps the ball back in his glove a couple of times. Pulls his cap down firmly on his head. Tigers are leading 6-5 in the last half of the 11th inning. Rowe getting a sign again from Cochran. Now he's ready. Here's the pitch. Klein takes one outside at the shoulder of ball, and the count is 2-2 for Klein. Ball 2 and strike 2. Cubs still warming up a couple of pitchers. Charlie Root and Henshaw in the bullpen in left field. Each team has used 3 pitchers today. Rowe is getting ready out there now. Here comes the next pitch to Klein. Klein swung at a fastball in high and fouled it back into the net, and the count is 2-2. umpire McGowan gives Mickey Cochran the new ball, which he throws out to the pitcher. Tiger infielders out there, thumping their hands into their gloves. Rogel is looking back at the scoreboard in center field. Now he turns around, watching the pitcher. Rowe was ready that time, but he didn't notice the time was out of the box, and the umpire held his hands, calling time. Now they're all ready. Rowe is going through his motion. Here's the pitch. Fine, struck out. He swung at a fastball in low. Cochran couldn't hold on to the ball, but it dropped at his feet, and he picked it up and tagged Klein and struck us out for the second out. That's 2 gone now in the last half of the 11th inning. Klein is out on strike. Stevenson, I believe, will bat for the pitcher. Stevenson, the third string catcher, I believe will bat for the pitcher. Last half of the 11th inning, and the Tigers leading 6-5 in a great ball game. Here comes Stevenson out to bat for the pitcher. Here's Stevenson coming out, swinging 2 or 3 bats now over his shoulders. That's right-handed. He's coming to bat with 2 out and nobody on the bases in the last half of the 11th inning of this 3rd game of the World Series. Here's Stevenson up at the plate, right-handed hitter. He's getting ready out there now. Low is all set. First pitch is in high and in close to Stevenson for a ball. Ball 1. That's right-handed. He's the third string catcher. There's Hartnett, O'Day, and then Stevenson. Lowe is getting his sign. Here's the pitch. Fastball outside. A ball makes it ball 2. It's 2-0 now. Wally walks out of the box, gets some dirt on his hands, drying them, then walks up toward the plate again. Right up in there now, a red 42 in the back of his white uniform. Lowe is getting his sign. Here's the pitch. He swung at a fastball and missed it. Right around his shoulders, and the count is ball 2 and strike 1. 2-1. Schoolboy Rowe gets his sign again from Cochran. He's all set. Here's the pitch. Stevenson hits a high foul off there to the right that's going into the boxing. Crowd over there standing with their arms outstretched. The count of ball 2 and strike 2. 2-2 for Stevenson. The announcer on the field is taking another supply of baseballs out to the umpire-in-chief, Bill McGowan. Nobody on the bases for the Cubs, and 2 gone in the last half of the 11th inning. Schoolboy Rowe is winding up. Here comes the next pitch to Wally. Stevenson hits a foul way up into the upper deck off there to the right. Way up behind first base, and the count is ball 2 and strike 2. Remember, tomorrow will be the 4th game of the World Series. This is the 3rd game in Chicago today. Mr. takes his time out there, getting ready. Juggled the ball in his pitching hand a couple of times. He has a count of 2-2 on Stevenson. Stevenson takes one high and inside. A 3rd ball, and the count is 3-2. Stevenson steps out of the batter's box again. Gets some dirt on his hands. The last half of the 11th inning, Tigers leading 6-5. Schoolboy Rowe. Opposing Larry French now, the 3rd pitcher for each team. Rowe goes through his motion, gets ready. Here's the pitch. The game is over. Stevenson was called out on strike, and Detroit wins the 3rd game of the World Series, 6-5. Walter Stevenson, 3rd string catcher, got us to the pitcher and was called out on strike. And it's no runs, no hits, and no errors in the last half of the 11th inning. Schoolboy Rowe, who was the last pitcher on the mound, will, of course, receive credit for the victory. And Larry French, the 3rd pitcher for the Chicago Cubs, will be charged with the defeat. It was by far the most thrilling game of the World Series, with action, thrills galore, and everyone out here, the great crowd of 50,000 people, were absolutely thrilled as the Chicago Cubs and the Detroit Tigers battled through 11 long innings to determine who was going to be the winner in this 3rd game of the World Series. This is Bob Elson. We've had the pleasure of bringing these last few innings to you, and now I'm going to turn you over to my associate, Red Barker, who has all the highlights and all the dope on this great game for you. Okay, Red. The broadcast of this game has been sent to you by the Ford Motor Company, dealers of Ford and Lincoln cars and Ford trucks. You are cordially invited to be their guests again tomorrow when the World Series battle is resumed at Wrigley Field, Chicago. Watch the board go by. That means there's so much in it that we feel impossible in the few minutes.